877-867-1670 has stuff. So anyway, long story short, this is from Mark. Mark says, the weekend with Mark Murphy was a disaster. Your thoughts? And I wanted to get into this too, in case you did not hear. Mark Murphy spoke over the weekend. And Mark Murphy had stated that we have a divided fan base in Green Bay for the Packers, which I believe that. A divided fan base. And he did not want to, he feels that it's at this time in the best interest of both parties not to say anything when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, which I, for the most part, agree. However, you don't talk about being a divided fan base, that the fan base has been divided, basically pointing the finger at this whole standoff saying, well, this hasn't been good. This is not the way to go. I understand that. But I think the funny thing about it was the question that was posed to Mark Murphy, where Mark Murphy then went off into the stratosphere that is the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, really didn't have a lot of correlation, to be honest with you. It was interesting because it was a question that just said, hey, you're doing great, you know, the whole thing. And, you know, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. It basically, you know, said that, you know, the Packers, you're doing a great job. It was almost like, you know, hey, Mark, you're wonderful, and we're going to put you on Mount Rushmore up there with everybody else that is a Packers lore person. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, he goes into the, hey, we've got a divided fan base. I don't get it. It said, dear Mark, you've done a great job. Don't let the bastards drag you down. Washington needs a name. I suggest the Generals. And then he says, thanks, Ken, the situation we face with Aaron Rodgers. You've done a great job. Don't let the bastards drag you down. Now, maybe he's taking the, quote, don't let the bastards drag you down statement as the people that are angry about the Aaron Rodgers situation. But he says the situation we face with Aaron Rodgers has divided our fan base. The emails and letters I've received reflect this fact. As I wrote last month, we remain committed to resolving things with Aaron and want him to be our quarterback in 2021 and beyond. We are working to resolve the situation and realize that the less both sides say publicly, the better, with regard to the Washington football team and on and on. Okay. I get it, where he's referencing the don't let the bastards drag you down, and I understand that. There's no reason to say we've got a divided fan base. There's just not. I think when he says we have a divided fan base, don't you think Aaron Rodgers is going to read that? Basically, it's, oh, look what Aaron's done to us. He's divided the fan base. We are doing everything we can to keep our kingdom in order. You know? Everything we can to keep our kingdom from crumbling. And in essence, it's your choice of Jordan Love and the communication or lack thereof that started this. Now, the overwhelming feel, and by the way, I had a great time this weekend on a lot of motorcycle rides, but everybody wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers. The overwhelming feeling regarding Aaron Rodgers is, at least in from what I'm getting, is he has a right to be mad, but get over it. That's kind of it. It's you got a right to be mad. Look, what they did, the way they did it, yeah, it sucked, but get over it. Come on, you're a grown-ass man. Let's do this. That's kind of where I think they're at. I find it really interesting in the sense that most fans believe that, yeah, come on, Aaron, let's do this. Let's get over it. Let's get out of this. Get on with it. You know, you're going to be another year or two or 5 or whatever it takes, you know. But the other thing, that I think is interesting also, that the Packers, and who knows what they're saying behind closed doors, but for many GMs in the business, the Packers are emphatic, at least that's the word coming out of Green Bay through many backdoor areas, that they are not in any way, shape, or form going to trade Aaron Rodgers. And you could be trading Aaron Rodgers at his peak here. If you're not willing to trade him and you're not willing to say, okay, you know what, we're going to call your bluff, we're going to go ahead and get rid of you, we're going to do whatever it can to move some of this salary and take this hit, then a lot of people in the business also say that says a lot about Jordan Love. Ian Rappaport says, while the status of the Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is in doubt for the team's mandatory minicamp this week, it sounds like that'll be the only issue to be resolved. His wide receivers, who did not show for the OTAs, including star Devontae Adams, are either in town or expected in town. So it looks like everybody else is going to report, but Aaron Rodgers. Rick says Murphy was just being honest about the fan base. That's true. I'm not denying that, but there's no reason to say it. It's kind of like saying, when your girlfriend says, do these pants make me look fat? You're just being honest. Yeah, your ass is huge in those things, but there's really no reason to say it, unless you are completely embarrassed because it looks like a sausage casing. You go, no, babe, hey, they're not your best, they're not your worst, but hey, I like those. Those are good. That's kind of the way you do it, right? You don't go, geez, holy mackerel. And it looks like you went to Target and you're smuggling throw pillows. Holy crap. Nobody needs to do that, right? But saying, hey, you've divided our fan base, it is what it is. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. I don't know. We got alarms going off in here. I don't know for what. I've never been in this thing before, so it's fantastic. So it'll go off, and we'll see if somebody comes in and shuts this stuff off for us. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Also, you can give us a shout over on the Bud Light live stream, and you can hit us there on the social media. And you can also find us over on the website, which is thebillmichaels.com. That's thebillmichaels.com. 877-867-1670. This is from Mark. Mark says, I think Murphy was being honest, but I think Aaron Rodgers also could be honest. He could take his 5 questions and answer everything and expose everything about the Green Bay Packers. It's a very ugly business, and the Packers did him wrong. People need to understand that. He has earned the right to be pissed. He has been one of the best quarterbacks in all of football, and why people are now ready to throw him out with the bathwater, I have no idea. Ron says Aaron Rodgers needs to get his ass to camp and be with the rest of his guys. His teammates are there. Why is he not? That I get. And that, as things go on, that seems to be the louder sentimentality. Kinger says, yeah, you're right. They probably think I'm stealing the thing. That's why the alarm's probably going off right now. This is from Jacob. Jacob says, I love my Green Bay Packers, and I will never turn my back on the organization, but this front office has been a blank show. They just can't seem to get it right when they're all about communication, and they can't get their own communication right. What do you think they're doing internally? I don't know. This is from Chris. Chris says, great show. Have they locked you down, or is there a tornado in the area? Supposed to be some severe weather. Be careful. No, I don't think there's severe weather in the area. No, it's not even cloudy. Got a few clouds in the area, but for the most part, it's sunshine and warm, and we're good to go. We are broadcasting live today at KUNES RV, KUNESRV.com, but we're in Elkhorn. They have 10 dealerships, 9 of them in the state of Wisconsin, 1 of them in Illinois. They continue to grow, and they are the supplier of this, which is the big unit cruiser, and our brand new big unit cruiser, which we're going to start touring the state in very, very soon. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. By the way, for those of you watching on a Bud Light live stream and listening to this program, got kind of a cool announcement today coming up at 1 o'clock. Cool announcement today coming up at 1 o'clock. And we will try to fix the continual beeping. That's coming up as well. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We'll be back right after this. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
Right.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
For joining us today. We certainly appreciate it. A lot to get to throughout the day today as the Brewers successful over the weekend. Off today, then into Cincinnati. They are tied atop the spot of the National League Central, so kudos to the Brewers, man. Big weekend. Solid. Did you see they had a couple of back-to-back, or not a couple of back-to-backers, they had a couple of home runs this past weekend when Tyrone Taylor hit his, and then they took the lead. Corbin Burns exits after throwing just spectacularly yesterday. He exits the game. And did you happen to notice anything? I did. One thing specifically I noticed, and it was fantastic. It was a crowd of people standing and applauding as Corbin Burns walked to the dugout. It was fantastic. It was fantastic to witness because I just thought it was just, such a cool moment to see Corbin Burns just go and get the due. to get his accolades. I mean, they've been doing it in front of a sparse crowd, but 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 13, a career-high 13 Ks he had. And they ended up with 20,117 at American Family Field, and they were standing, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. So good stuff. Brewers get yet another win. 2-0. That shutout yesterday was held in check. And the Brewers sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-0 and are on a 4-game win streak as they head off to Cincinnati and Great American Ballpark, where the weather is going to be hot, hazy, humid, chance of thunderstorms almost every day. It's just the way it is down there. And that means the ball is going to start jumping down there as well, hopefully. Although the one statistic, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, it's somewhat alarming, I guess, because the one statistic for the Brewers is 73% of their runs have been scored via the home run, which then bolsters the analytics or sabermetrics, if you will, of grip it and rip it. Because if you're going to score all your runs that way, then you might as well not try to do anything else, because that's the majority of the runs that are going to be scored. I'm not a fan of that, but over 70% of the runs that are being scored by the Brewers so far are being done via the long ball. So there you go. In the meantime, the Milwaukee Bucks, I took some heat over on Twitter, but the Milwaukee Bucks looked bad. I know some of you are like, well, they'll bounce back. I hope they do. I'm not here to say this team can't win. I'm not here to say that this team won't bounce back. But people wanted to get on Coach Bud for a lot of different reasons. Oh, here we go again with adjustments. How do you adjust when guys are standing flat-footed? How? How do you adjust? How do you say, hey, why don't you hustle a little bit more? Try hustling a little bit more. Try hustling. Try doing something else. I watched them defensively, really, at both ends of the court, stand flat-footed. I watched them, when a shot went up, other than the shooter, it seemed like everybody was heading back down to the other end of the floor. Brooklyn's crashing the boards. They're getting offensive tips, boards. They're doing everything. The Bucks, they're standing around. They were flat-footed. They got out-hustled. You can say what you want about Coach Budenholzer, but they got beat because Brooklyn wanted to make a statement, and the Bucks were punched in the face and didn't have an answer. That's it. Now, their shots, they weren't hitting their shots. They were off. They had some open looks. They had some non-open looks. I get it. Okay. But when you're not hitting, you have to create. You have to work harder. And instead, they sat back and went, no worries. No worries. We'll see what happens. We'll start hitting, and they never created anything. It never happened for them. 877-867-1670. Thoughts on the Bucks getting just their asses handed to them in Game 1 by the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn, they hit their shots, but also, I'll tell you what, they worked hard for that. Now, I guess if you want to look at it as a shining moment, if indeed it turns out to be that way, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be without James Harden in Game 2. James Harden with a tight hamstring, not going to be able to be available for Game 2, and they maybe have a little bit of breathing room because of the way they played in Game 1. They feel strongly about it, but I couldn't watch it anymore. I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, and we're watching a game, and I said, watch this. And you see a shot go up, even Giannis heading down the other end of the floor. Come on, man, you're the MVP. You're the reigning MVP, and you're not working harder than anybody else. It was mind-numbing. 877-867-1670. And Kenny says the benches got shorter in the playoffs. That's Coach Bud's big problem. Play your starters more. No, Coach Bud's problem is his team didn't hustle. His team didn't hustle. I went back through this. If you watch the game and if you tape the game or DVR the game, go back and watch it. Go back and watch shots that are put up and how you saw 4 guys starting to head to the end of the floor. No offensive hustle. And it was a lot of one-on-one junk basketball. It it was not good, clean basketball. You can blame Bud all you want, but the Bucks looked like a team that got punched in the face and didn't have an answer. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Bucks and Nets coming up later on tonight. 6:30 tonight, as a matter of fact. 6:30 tonight. The two teams get underway. You had 34 from Giannis, and he did have 11 boards, but even Giannis had a couple of boards that flew right to him, and for the most part was heading back down the floor. They ended up with 58 boards to 47, and you're going to say, well, when you look at that compared to Durant and company, they did not miss as many shots. They shot a better percentage. Okay? However, overall, when you watched them work for buckets at the opposite end, they worked harder than the Bucks did. This is from, my buddy Dick says, Elder Panthers, my old high school. Great weekend. Second in state in volleyball, won the region in basketball, on to the Final Four. Or in baseball. Kudos to them. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670, 867-1670. Got a comment? Go ahead and give it to us. This is from Jason. Jason says, hey, guys, I think the cruiser is cool. He said, I think the Bucks will bounce back in game 2. You need to see more of PJ Tucker on the floor. He played solid defense. Also, are they going to give Kevin Durant any more opportunities because the refs certainly favored him? That I will say. Did you see Durant just lower a shoulder? No call, no charge. If anything, the call went against the Bucks. Again, this is when people that say there's an agenda on behalf of the NBA to see a team like Brooklyn in the finals rather than a team like the Bucks in the finals. This is part of the problem because that's the furtherance of all of that. Because when you see something that everybody knows is obvious and you call it the opposite, that's like waking up and seeing the sun and the NBA saying, no, that's the moon. Don't worry about it. That's the moon. That's when you go, okay, this is some crap right here. The Bucks did get one at the opposite end via Giannis, though. They did get a star call in that sense. But still, it was not a good scenario. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Mark says, Mark Murphy has not helped himself by speaking out against Aaron Rodgers and talking about the divided fan base. The fan base is divided because of their stupid moves. When do you think Murphy and Gutekunst wake up and realize this? They realize now where this is all at. No denying that. They understand either whatever got them to this point, they know what it is. Aaron has told them this sucks, that sucks, you suck, we suck, whatever. Okay. They know that. That's water under the bridge. The question now is, how do you fix this from where it is or where it was to where it is today to where it can be? Because that's the biggest question right now. How do you fix this? And saying you got a divided fan base, one, is stating the obvious, but I don't know what else to tell you. It's divided. I think we all know that. We do this show every day, and we listen to this show. We talk on this show. You call this program. You tweeted this program, and you hit us up on the Bud Light live stream. It is what it is. So when you have a statement like that, yeah, it's master of the obvious. There's no reason to put it out there. It's almost insinuating in some way, shape, or form that Aaron Rodgers he's the one that's created this problem. It's almost saying, well, we've got a divided fan base. We've got an issue. We've got a problem. We've got some kind of a guy from the outside that's trying to tear us apart as Packers fans. So that's why you don't need to say anything. There's no need to. You're stating the obvious. So just you can say, you know what, we're committed to doing everything we can to make things right within our own organization and moving forward. And just leave it to we want to make sure he's our quarterback in 2021 and beyond. Just leave it like that. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
How we looking? Bill Michaels here for the Four Seasons Island Resort in Pembine, Wisconsin. And I've got to tell you, when I want to get away for a long weekend, I head to the Four Seasons Island Resort. It's Northeast Wisconsin's best-kept secret, and the amenities include a 9-hole golf course, indoor saltwater swimming pool, sauna, whirlpool, tennis courts, basketball, horseshoe pits, volleyball, and when you're hungry, choose from the Boundary Water Sports Bar and Grill, Lily's Ice Cream Parlor, or fine dining in the Diamond Room. How about all of that? All Marinette County ATV and UTV trails are wide open this year. Guided waterfall tours as well. It's tucked into the North Woods of Wisconsin. The Four Seasons Island Resort is located on the Muscano Island and surrounded by the beautiful Menominee River, which divides Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. An island you can actually drive to. How about that? It's simply gorgeous there. Whether it's a romantic weekend for two, a golf weekend with the boys, or an adventure weekend for the entire family, Four Seasons Island Resort is a place to go. Book your getaway today at thefourseasonswi.com. That's thefourseasons, FOURWI.com, and make sure you tell them Bill Michael sent you.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Thanks. Nope. There it goes.
Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
If you got to leave the door open, you can do that too. To let it, whatever's in here, sink out. Brand new bikes that have just arrived, and they've got a big selection of used vehicles, used motorcycles as well, plus the best in motor clothes. Their motor clothes department is fantastic. Jody does a great job between motor clothes and also the parts department, service department, everything. As a matter of fact, I just went out and got a new windshield. I got a dark windshield for the front end of my bike over the weekend. So everything from Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, very, very cool. Go to wishd.com. Their big Wednesday night bike night coming up for the first one of the summer this Wednesday night, June 9th. So if you're going to be looking for something to do, if you're not going to Wednesday Night Live out of the Bud Pavilion, stop over at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Go to wishd.com. That is wishd.com. And see everything that it is they have to offer. Don says, Mark Murphy, we're not idiots. Aaron Rodgers will be back. Well, Mark, apparently you are idiots. You caused this, so put aside your ego and do whatever you need to do to fix this and get Aaron into camp. First ballot Hall of Famer quarterbacks don't grow on trees, but even an idiot should know that. That is from Don. Steve says the fan base is divided, but I think a majority of fans can agree Packers front office and their mentality is part of the issue. By the way, Julio Jones traded for a second-round pick. I didn't think Julio Jones was coming here. I mean, I didn't start off the show via the Four Letter Network and say, and Julio Jones on the move, and will he be wearing green and gold? No, I never thought he was going to end up here anyway. I thought it would have been a great gesture if the Packers were serious about, Aaron Rodgers and such, and about trying to do something to make him happy. But I think at this point in time, it's not about bringing in additional wide receivers or veterans or Julio Jones or anybody else for that matter to keep him happy. I think it's more about the communication aspect of it, and just working with him on saying, look, we're going to do everything we can to make this right. And after that, once you've extended the olive branch, you can do whatever it is you want to do. But if Aaron Rodgers feels that the relationship is irreparable, then there's not much you can do beyond that. It just, I don't know what to tell you. It's just at that point in time, it's kind of done. It's just kind of over. So, I hope it becomes repairable, but at this point in time, it doesn't look like it is. This is from, Kinger says, was that a CO2 detector? No, I don't know what it was. It was an LP gas detector or something like that. Hey, it's the first day in the new RV, man. You got to expect a few things to go wrong. Either that, or like Chris says, it was not a detector as to whether something was wrong. It was just because the show was on fire today. How about that, Chris? Bringing your best. This is from Mark listening to it. By the way, Mark listening to us at WMAM up in Menominee and Marinette says, as a longtime Green Bay Packers fan, nobody wants to go back to the late 70s, early 80s, and that's where we are headed. Everybody seems to think put a good defense around Jordan Love and you're going to be just fine. In a quarterback-driven league, you need a good quarterback. Hall of Fame quarterbacks do not grow on trees. They're hard to find. Some organizations, like the Lions, have not been able to find one for such an incredibly long time. Look at what the Packers have been over Look at what the Packers have been doing to the Bears over the last few years. The Bears can't find a quarterback. The Packers have had 30 years of good quarterback play and have had dominance over that team. The minute you fall behind in the quarterback play, you are going to suffer. And the Green Bay Packers know this, which is the reason they're trying to hang on to Aaron Rodgers. They should have tried a little bit harder before pissing Rodgers off. This is from our buddy Steve, and Steve in Richfield says, regarding the Bucs, I remember after Game 1 against the Heat, I sent you an email that the Bucs need to get the energy level up and play with hustle. Jimmy Butler did. The Bucs did that in Game 2 and against the Heat, and hopefully they will follow the same script. The Bucs need to pound it inside and stop the one dribble three-pointer, make the Nets work for it like they made the Heat work for it. To all the fans who were down on the Brewers 2 short weeks ago, they should be banned from your show for a day or two. It's a long season, and they have scratched and clawed their way back through the injuries, and they're on a roll now. The addition of Adames has been awesome. Let's hope that the pitching staff keeps getting it done, and the bats stay as hot as the weather. That's our buddy Stephen Richfield. Give the Brewers credit. The bats have been hotter. For those that, and I was one of them. Look, hey, I did not think, looking at this team top to bottom, that they were going to pull out of this offensively. But we did state this, that you get 1 or 2 guys in there that start to light it up, suddenly hitting can become contagious. That's what this team needed. I just didn't think they were ever going to pull out of it. So for those, including myself, that wanted Andy Haynes fired, the fact that the Brewers stayed the course, but what we had talked about was coming out of that Cincinnati series, if the Brewers bats were silent in that series at Great American, you couldn't wake up against that bad bullpen down there in Cincinnati, that's when the firing should have happened. And the Brewers bats started to wake up. And when they started to wake up, they said, okay, we'll give Andy Haynes a reprieve. At least that was our sentimentality. We'll give Andy Haynes a reprieve. We'll see what happens. And then, sure enough, the Brewers have been hitting the baseball ever since. And kudos to them. But the pitching has been just flat out fantastic. The pitching has just been so good. So good. The Brewers, by the way, when you look at OPS, the Brewers have risen from 29th to 26th OPS. Now, I know that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, they're still batting with a 669 OPS and a 211 batting average. A 211 batting average at this point puts them tied for still 29th in all of Major League Baseball. So, as much as we can go, all right, yay, you still look at this team and you go, yeah, they're still batting a whopping 211, and that puts them 29th, only ahead of the Seattle Mariners overall. Meanwhile, everybody else, the Cardinals have climbed. The Cubs specifically have climbed in their stretch. They have gone from 22nd all the way up to 14th best batting average in Major League Baseball. You still got a team like Cincinnati. Cincinnati can hit that. Cincinnati's batting average, top 5 in all of baseball. So when you go into Great American this week, top 5 in all of baseball, OPS top 4. The problem is their pitching sucks and sucks bad. So that's one of the reasons that when you look at this upcoming series, you think if you can just slug with them, you'll win the game, because when it comes to shutting teams down, Brewers pitching is so much better than what the Reds have. So you can look for a couple of wins out of this series as well. I just feel strongly about that. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. John Ledyard, and he is with the NFL. He's got Ledyard NFL Draft. You can find him, Tampa Bay Bucs and NFL Draft. He covers the NFL and covers the Buccaneers. He says, and put it out there, is after Adam Schefter said that the wide receivers and such are going to be in Green Bay. The fact that the Packers are this being capitalized, opposed to trading Rodgers at probably the highest remaining value he'll hold in the NFL 1 year after trading up in round 1 for Jordan Love, tells us a lot about how they view Love, at least right now. Basically saying, look, if Rodgers coming off of an MVP season, running the offense almost flawlessly, looking incredible, touchdown to interception ratio is fantastic, completion percentage is high, quarterback rating is high, the highest it's ever been. When you're coming out of this situation and an MVP season and a trip to an NFC Championship game in back-to-back years, this is about as hot as he's going to be. And you're telling everybody publicly, we're not even considering trading him. That is an indicator as to where you believe Jordan Love is. If Jordan Love is lighting it up, then this is a non-issue. Then you're like, you know what, Aaron, thanks, but we're not going to deal with you anymore. we're done. We're tired of it. Talk to you later. You know, but the fact that they are hanging on like grim death to Aaron Rodgers and trying to bring him back, or at least publicly trying to bring him back, speaks volumes. And I've said that time and again. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, do so. James says, I hope that the double by Keston Uri yesterday, a sign of good things to come for him. I agree. There's still some struggles. Don't get me wrong. The Brewers still have some struggles on this team. I'll 100% agree with you there. No doubt about it. But I still hope that they're able to continue to at least look better and continue to turn this thing around. I mean, Garcia is right now, when you look at OPS, Avisail Garcia, 768 OPS, hitting 242. Urias hitting 224. Travis Shaw still struggling at 191. Jackie Bradley Jr. still at 154. You've got some problems right now. There's no doubt about it. You got some problems on this team. I will acquiesce to that. But Garcia also, with a 242 average and a 768 OPS, still with 11 home runs, still your team leader in home runs. Narvaez hitting 317, solid numbers. They've come down a little bit from where they were for a while, but solid numbers. Christian Yelich down to 247, but 3 dingers. Seem to heat up in the last few weeks. Hopefully that's a good sign for him to come. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll step away. The last hour of the show today, you're going to want to listen to. By the way, I'm previewing that now. The last hour of the show today, you're going to want to listen to. We are broadcasting live at KUNES RV. We are in Elkhorn, Wisconsin today. If you want to come by, the brand new big unit cruiser, which is what we're sitting in, what I'm sitting in right now. Right now, we're sitting in this brand new unit. You can come in, take a look around if you choose to do so. It's a beautiful motor coach, private motor coach by Nexus. This is what we're going to be touring the state in, going to be touring to Sturgis in, heading up to Road America in. We got all this coming up, so we got a lot of good stuff here. If you want to come by and say hello, they were giving away koozies and some squeezy balls and stuff from our friends at KUNES RV. But we are at KUNES RV on Deer Road here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And you go to KUNESRV.com. That is KUNES, K-U-N-E-S, KUNESRV.com, and see all that they have to offer for any of your camping needs. If you want to get out, you want to get away, you want to do something, whether socially distant or you just want to go camp and take the kids, take the family, you want to go to a race, or maybe you want to rent and try it before you buy it, everything. Go to KUNES, K-U-N-E-S, KUNESRV.com. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Eight 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. But yeah, if the Packers do not fine him, then it's just a show of good faith to say, hey, look, we're still working closely with Aaron, trying to get him to come back. We're not going to do anything to piss him off. What does that say to other veterans? Well, every team does that. They have it at their discretion. It's just that once the fines start to get levied, if you got a player that's not of Aaron Rodgers' status, okay, suppose it's Preston Smith, mid-level veteran, good, not great, that type of player. And you say, you got to be here, you're going to get fined. Well, and he's got, say, 2 or 3 more years left on his deal. Chances are you're fining him. And he knows that, unless there's an excused absence, like, say, the birth of a child or an illness in the family or something like that. But if you're just holding out and being obstinate about it, well, then chances are they'll fine you. But they do have that right to waive that fine. That they have the discretion to do that. They'll say it's an excused absence. You're allowed. I don't know how this is going to play with the other players. I don't know how it's going to play within the NFLPA. I don't know. But when you're talking about a player of Aaron Rodgers' status, yeah, you can do that. If you're trying to woo this guy back, yeah, it's not a major issue. So I don't blame the Packers for doing it. I want to remind you again, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we have on site a special guest. On site, no, it's not Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers not making an appearance, but we will be talking some Packers in the final hour of the program as well for the entire hour, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about the last hour of the show today. For those that listen live every day, it's the 1 o'clock hour of the program. So I'm excited about it. And if you don't get it in your area, then you may want to download the Odyssey app and listen to it on WOZN, our flagship station, The Zone out of Madison. You can pay attention to it right here on the Bud Light live stream. If you're watching the program, you can go to thebillmichaels.com and click on the link of Listen Live, whatever it happens to be. But there's plenty of ways to get in touch with the program. Mark says, your thoughts on Mark Murphy saying it's a divided fan base. Some seem to feel that he didn't need to say that. I have a feeling that he's stating the obvious. Again, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, and we'll discuss it again coming up, but it's stating the obvious. I don't think it's as big a deal as some are making it out to be. Some make it out to be completely detrimental. To me, it's like, why say it? You know what it is. And it wasn't, the funny thing was, it wasn't even a question that brought that up. It was a statement. It said, "Dear Mark, you've done a great job. Don't let the bastards drag you down. Washington needs a name. I suggest the Generals." That was the comment to Mark in the mailbag. He said, "Thanks, Ken. The situation we face with Aaron Rodgers has divided our fan base." That's the first statement. Now, that's probably in reference to the "don't let the bastards drag you down," meaning the people that are angry about all of this. And I understand that. He's right. Don't let them drag you down. Keep doing what you do, but you got to learn from your mistakes. For a organization that said, we have to be, better when it comes to knocking down the silos of communication, it seems to be a failure here right now, right? There seems to be a legitimate, oh boy, we screwed this up. So I understand it. I understand it when people say there's no reason to talk about this, because you're basically telling everybody that Aaron Rodgers, in some way insinuating, divided our kingdom, as if you're the king and lord of all that is Green Bay Packer Nation, and Aaron Rodgers has divided our kingdom. No. Let's be honest, okay? Between you, me, and the fence post, if they call Aaron and say, "Hey, Aaron, look, we like this guy. We think he's going to be good after you decide to walk away, but we want to make this deal. We're not." Or they could have even said, "You know what? We like Tim Boyle, but we don't think Tim's going to be our long-term solution. Maybe as the backup. We like this guy. We like to draft him, but we want your blessing to do so, and then work with him. But in no way, shape, or form does this jeopardize you and our future." I think this is we're not even talking about this. We're talking about reloading for 2021 and the possible another NFC Championship run and getting to a Super Bowl. But the way this was done is probably more than likely what set this whole thing in motion. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. 1 hour down. 3 more to go in the last hour of the show. You are going to want to be right here. Stick around. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, and it's coming up right after this.
American Family Field, Corbin Burns turned in another dominating effort as the Brewers would beat the Diamondbacks 2-0. Burns would go 7 innings, allowing 4 hits and striking out a career-high 13 batters as he dropped his ERA to 1.97 on the season. That's tied for the 4th best mark in the majors. Here's more from the Brewers starting pitcher.
Baseball's going to come around. I think the last 2 weeks have kind of shown that. Right before the DC series, and the DC series kind of sparked everything, and I think we've kind of taken off from there. Everyone's throwing the ball well, rotations, bullpen, playing great defense. The bats are coming alive. It's a pretty scary offense when you can get everyone swinging the bat like you can.
The crew has today off before opening a series in Cincinnati on Tuesday. To the NBA, Saturday saw the Milwaukee Bucks fall in Game 1 to the Brooklyn Nets, 115-107. Game 2 is tonight. Tip-off is at 6:30 at the Barclays Center. Here's more from Chris Middleton.
Just come out, compete, and win. They got the first game up at home. We got to try to get one, and we got to try to get this next one for sure to even out going back home. The same approach, but just know we got to lay it out there on the line. We got to play better than we did in Game 1.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
In his monthly column at Packers.com, Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy says the team remains committed to getting Aaron Rodgers back as their quarterback, and also that this situation has divided the fan base. Will Rodgers be at Titletown? Packers mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Show, and welcome to all of you just tuning us in for the first time today. We certainly appreciate it. We are broadcasting live, special day today. We are broadcasting live today here at KUNES RV in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. If you want to stop by and say hello, KUNES RV, and it is the unveiling today. It arrived, the brand new. I think it's a 36-foot RV, a Nexus RV. Beautiful, beautiful motor coach that we're going to be touring the state in and saying hello to all of you in, and look forward to it. So hoping to get out and about very soon. This will be with us at Wednesday Night Live at the Wisconsin State Fair Park coming up this Wednesday, and then we'll be in Rice Lake for the Celebrity Golf Outing, I believe, coming up in a couple of weeks, and then we'll be at the IndyCar races, then the NASCAR races. So we're going to be all over. It'll be with us. It'll be with us at the end of the month. We're going to be in Sussex, Wisconsin, and we're going to be there for one of our Tobacco Outlet Plus Grocery and Quick Trip cigar dinner events. So we'll be there with this for that. So a lot coming up that we're going to be traveling this around, and we can't say thanks enough to our friends at KUNES RV. Go to KUNES, KUNES. If you are in the mood or looking for or wanting to rent or try it before you buy it, anything regarding RV or camping, they have all of it. They have fifth wheels, tow behinds, pop-ups. They've got Class A, Class C, C+, whatever it happens to be. They've got all of it. And it is it's great to work with everybody from KUNES RV. They have been so hospitable to us. And I just want to say thanks to them so much. First of all, big weekend for the Brewers. Brewers win 4 in a row. Tremendous weekend for the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers now tied for the top spot in the National League Central with the Chicago Cubs. Off tonight in Cincinnati, beginning a series there tomorrow at Great American Ballpark. Hopefully they don't have any games that are interrupted. There's a lot of weather that's going to be moving through the area over the next few days. Hazy, hot, and humid is usually the mixture this time of year and all the way throughout the end of August in Cincinnati. So the ball should jump, and hopefully the bats stay hot. And Christian Yelich continues to put up decent number, at least the power numbers. He's only hitting 222 so far this month, but he has put up some dingers, so maybe he's starting to get it back. Anthony says, does KUNES rent RVs? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Go to KUNESRV.com and you can see everything they have to offer, and then get a hold of their rental program. They do have a try it before you buy it type of thing. So kudos to the Brewers. Bucks, not so much. Bucks just seem to be out hustled at key moments in that game the other night. Just seemed to be out hustled. And it was disappointing. I mean, granted, there was a lid on the bucket. They weren't hitting their shots, but they also became relatively lethargic, specifically in the second half of that game. We just sat there at the bar and watched them. I said, watch, they're going to put a shot up. Yep, there's a miss. Nobody around to get a board. And some of these boards were long boards where you could have had somebody in position. Sometimes when things aren't falling specifically, you have to create. It's kind of, we talk about it in baseball all the time. If you're not hitting home runs, you got to figure a way to get on base. You got to figure a way to move somebody 90 feet. You got to play station to station baseball. Bucks didn't do the extras. They didn't do the little things. And, the defensive adjustments even seem to be flat-footed. You can blame Bud to a certain extent. Okay, that's fine. But the players, look, guys were flat-footed. Guys were caught not being able to switch off. Guys, it was just a bad, lackadaisical performance. So hopefully the Bucks are better at it coming up tonight, 6:30. About 6:40-ish will be tip time as the Bucks take on the Brooklyn Nets without James Harden, by the way, who will not be participating in this particular contest coming up. But the topic of the day has been Aaron Rodgers. We are in Aaron Rodgers' watch. We are officially on Aaron Rodgers' watch now. So I don't think he's showing. There's speculation, rumors floating around out there that the Packers probably will not fine Aaron Rodgers if he doesn't show. Okay, they're trying to work this thing out with him. Mark Murphy says that the situation with Aaron Rodgers has created a divided fan base, as if to say Aaron Rodgers has split our masses. Our green is off to our gold, and our gold is not with our green, and we are just, there's chaos in the kingdom. And I think people are realizing as you wake up and you read more and more into this. And by the way, I'm going to step back for just a second. I got, 3 or 4 scathing emails over the weekend about how they don't believe it until we hear it from Aaron Rodgers that he's mad. This is all made up by the media. That's fine. That's fine. But when Mark Murphy acknowledges there's an issue, when they have to worry about not fining him for not showing up for mandatory minicamp, do you think he's staying away because maybe he's gassy? Maybe he's got intestinal distress. Maybe he would much rather go to maybe his fiance's bridal shower. Maybe he's picking out dresses for her, or maybe he's looking for a really cool bow tie or top hat, something that he can, kind of play off of, or to the Kentucky Derby, maybe for his wedding. Do you think maybe that's what he's doing instead? Nah. If you don't believe there's a problem, then at this point in time, I would assume you're still looking under your pillow if you lose teeth, right? Let's be honest. So there is an issue. Mark Murphy addresses it, says that there is a division in the kingdom. As to whether or not Aaron Rodgers shows tomorrow, most likely not. I would have to say, if I took a guess right now, 90% of me says he's not going to be there. I think there's a lot of people today scrolling their computers going, okay, on Flight Tracker, is there anything coming out of Malibu, California? I don't see any private jets coming out of Malibu into Austin Straubel. I don't see anything coming out of California into Austin Straubel. I don't know what's going. There's no private planes, no Aaron Rodgers sightings. Nobody's sitting outside of his house going, there he is. He's in his robe picking up the daily paper, the Green Bay Press Gazette. None of that. It just doesn't look like he's going to show. It looks like, at least according to others, Ian Rappaport reporting it this morning, that it looks as if everybody else is going to report for the Packers. All the wide receivers will be there, but Aaron Rodgers most likely will not. Will not. So now what? Now what? As far as the divided fan base goes that Mark Murphy alluded to, sure, you don't get back-to-back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterback play. Look at how many teams have Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Let's start there. And I'm talking in the Super Bowl era. Go back to the modern era of football, Super Bowl. You could even maybe fast forward to free agency era. Okay? So look at the Hall of Famers, and then look at how teams have then, after the Hall of Famer leaves, how much they've struggled to find another Hall of Famer, and how long it's been since maybe they've had one. You had, say, Miami, Greasy, then a lot of quarterbacks, then Marino, right? You had Bradshaw and quarterbacks, then you got Roethlisberger. It's hard to replace Tom Brady. You had Montana and Young, and then look how long they've searched. You know, I mean, you can look at the quarterbacks that have gone through even, say, Minnesota, Fran Tarkenton, and then they were down for a while, and then they got Dante Culpepper, okay, and you know, you had sporadic quarterback play till you get Cousins, and Cousins is solid, but he's not a Hall of Famer. You know, the closest thing to a Hall of Famer you've had for a long time in Detroit was Matthew Stafford. Look how long the Bears have been searching for a quarterback. You know, so for those that say, no big deal, put a good defense around Jordan Love, it's not that easy. There's only so many top 3 defenses and Trent Dilfers that you're going to throw out there, or Joe Flacco's that you're going to throw out there. It's not easy. Anthony says, does he even need to show so long as he's there by the start of the season? Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, but let's be honest. Teams that have holdouts, specifically quarterbacks, they're not winning championships. It's just, it's the topic of conversation. It's the distraction. It's, if Rodgers is there, he's leading his guys in that locker room right now. He's getting on the same page with Amari Rodgers, his newest weapon. You know, Aaron Jones came back to play with him. Guys came back to play with him. Now, they've been together. This offense, for the most part, has been together for a while, right? So it's not, say, as detrimental, but it's a distraction. Because even when he comes back, the first week or two is going to be, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? What are you talking about? What are you thinking about? Are you talking about playing on the field, or are you happy with the organization? Is everything okay? Do you got Jordan? You know, and then right now, all of his guys are fielding the questions about Aaron Rodgers once this whole thing comes to fruition. And then in training camp, think of this. It's going to be, hey, Aaron, how you doing? Hey, Aaron, how you feel with the organization, with what they've given you? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel good? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel? And then it's going to be, hey, Aaron Jones, so how's Aaron in the huddle? Is he calling the plays? Is he not calling the plays? Is he gone rogue? Is he mad? The fact that the team gave him everything he wanted, is he acting different? You know, there's going to be all these discussions outside of just what's it like right now? What's going on the field? Rick says, I think just before training camp, the Packers players need to take a page from the Vikings playbook and go to Malibu to convince Rodgers to come back. Eric says, if they don't fire him, not only will they have a divided fan base, but also a locker room. I think the veterans are going to look at this and say, if you don't treat us different now, to hell with you. I think that this is just a bad deal. I mean, there's so many different areas of this that we could go. It's just a bad deal. It's screwed up. All of this is one giant distraction from going into a 2021 season in which you believe that you've done at least a few things that have made your team better than what they were only 5 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago. What you've done has made your team a little bit better. And if you've learned from your own mistakes, if Aaron Jones doesn't get hit hard and fumble, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw the pick, if Aaron Rodgers runs the ball into the end zone, if you can go through the whole litany, if Equinemius St. Brown doesn't drop a 2-point conversion, if Shannon Sullivan doesn't drop a for sure interception, if Matt LaFleur has better play calling in that third down or in that third quarter, I mean, you can look at many different things and say this team was the better team. They just didn't win the game. The same thing in 2014 against the Seattle Seahawks. They were the better team. They just didn't win the game due to many of their own mistakes. Aaron Rodgers, yes, but there was more to it than just that. They're a better team today, I believe. They just got to get their quarterback in, and sooner rather than later, and put all this to bed. This is one huge distraction, and it is the topic of conversation. Today is not unlike any other day. Watching the four-letter network, the NFL network, watching Twitter today between Schefter, Ian Rappaport, other reporters out there that cover the NFL, all talking about Aaron Rodgers. Will he or will he not be coming to Green Bay? When he's not showing in Green Bay, will they be trading him away? What is his trade value? Don't you think that everybody else is reading this stuff too, hearing this stuff too, seeing it on TV in Green Bay? It's probably going to lead every sports broadcast in Green Bay television. It's probably the lead story in every broadcast. It's there. It is the distraction. It is the will take you away from your preparation for the 2021 season. And I know people look at it and go, it's not even training camp yet. No big deal. It is a big deal. It is a big deal. You don't see many teams with this kind of a distraction that go out and win championships. And if you don't get Aaron Rodgers back, here's the question. Let's ask this. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, okay? If Aaron Rodgers does not come back, how long is it before this team wins a championship? Now think about that question for a minute. Legitimately, how far is it into the future when this team wins another championship? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. And then there is one other possibility that could happen that could blow the freaking lid off of this thing. I'll tell you what that is. We just got a question on the Bud Light live stream. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show continues on. We are broadcasting live at KUNES RV in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. They are the supplier now of the big unit cruiser, and it is absolutely beautiful in here, as a matter of fact. So if you have not seen it, it is on the Bud Light live stream. You can take a look, as many of you are looking right over my shoulder right now. Also, you can watch the live stream as we are here inside the RV, and we are going to be joined a little bit later on today. A very special guest will be joining us. We're going to talk a lot of Packers as well in the final hour of this program. As a matter of fact, exclusively Packers in the final hour of this program. A few clouds in the area, but you can still stop by if you're, say, in the Elkhart Lake, or excuse me, if in the Lake Geneva area, if you're in the Elkhorn area, if you're in the Madison area, you're about 30 minutes all the way around from stopping by down here. So if you want to swing by and say hello, feel free to do it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. The skepticism about Mark Murphy stating the fan base is divided. This is from Tom. Tom says, I am skeptical that the fan base is divided. I feel more fans are pissed off at Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst than fans that are supporting them. The fan base will always be Packers fans. What we are divided about is whether or not Aaron Rodgers should have been treated poorly or should be still the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. I think Gutekunst and Mark Murphy and all of their talk about communicating forgot to tell that to Aaron. You, Tom, are 100% correct. It's not about Packers fans are going to be Packers fans. The difference is your optimism going into the season. And I asked the question before we went to break. I said, how, if Aaron Rodgers, let's just say they trade him away and they get a king's ransom, first round draft choice, whatever they deem necessary, and you trade him away, how long before this team wins another championship? How long before this team wins another championship? Think about that. So you're going to be a Packers fan. You're going to go into every season going, maybe this year lightning's going to strike and we're going to win a championship. But let's just say Jordan Love is an average quarterback. There's going to be complaints after the game, just like there always is. There's going to be people calling the program saying they should have called this, they should have done that, the defense should have been called this, called that. I want to see everybody. Joe Barry needs to be fired. Nathaniel Hackett needs to be fired. Nothing will change because of the passion of the Packers fan base. The fan base is not divided as fans when it comes to are we or are we no longer Packers fans. That's not what this is. The fan base is divided as to whether or not you enjoy what Gutekunst's vision is and the way they've handled things, or you are upset that Aaron Rodgers right now is not in camp because of what he deems to be some type of a slight. It's not about Aaron Rodgers, or it's not about whether or not I will or will not be a Packers fan. It's about whether or not you're mad at Murphy or you're mad at Rodgers. I think there's a lot of people, I think the majority of people probably look at Aaron Rodgers and say, knock it off. Quit being such a damn baby, come back. You're getting paid a lot of money. You're getting paid more money than God. You got your feelings hurt. You're looking over the shoulder because they drafted a quarterback who you feel some kind of threat. Knock it off. You're being a baby. I think that's the way a lot of people look at it. You're getting paid a lot of money to play a game. People don't relate to that very well when guys start to pout. And that's what a lot of people look at this as. On the other hand, I understand where Rodgers, because if Rodgers came back, the pendulum would then switch and swiftly switch back towards the focus on Brian Gutekunst. When a player like Julio Jones becomes available, why didn't you go get him? Why didn't you figure it out? Why didn't you figure it out? Why'd you let this guy get away? Why didn't you draft this guy? I'm going to be pissed off at this organization over the whole TJ Watt thing until you find somebody that's better. There's all of that, because when Aaron Rodgers comes back, you'll figure out something else to be pissed about when it comes to the management of the Green Bay Packers. It'll always be second guess. Now, what could blow the lid off of this and just send our Twitter world and our media world into a frenzy? Do you know? Raise your hand. Do you know? Do you know what could blow the lid off of this? What could blow the lid off of this, do you think? I'll give you a minute to absorb it. 1 minute. Could be Thursday night. Thursday night. You know what Thursday night is? The mandatory minicamp's going on up in Green Bay. Do you think if Aaron Rodgers showed up at the Fiserv Forum as a minority owner of the Bucs, and there he is sitting courtside with Shailene Woodley, cheering on the Bucs in this Eastern Conference playoffs, that would blow the lid off of this whole thing. It would be panda freaking monium. It would be pandemonium. Crazy, crazy pandemonium. People would go out of their damn mind. People would go, and I'll tell you the reason why he won't. Because of what happened up at Neuroscience Field in Appleton. When they put Aaron Rodgers' commercial for a car dealer on the big screen, now I wasn't there, so I don't know specifically, but the report was he got booed. It got booed loudly. It got booed loudly. So I think if he shows up at the Fiserv Forum sitting courtside in a Bucs hat with kind of that look, you know, and he's there to cheer his guys on. I mean, if he's there to cheer his team on, you know. But people will look at it as you come here and sit courtside with your Hollywood girlfriend, but you can't be sweating up at camp right now with your guys. The guys that you say you love and care so much about. You care so much about this fan base, but yet you won't go work with them. It would blow the lid off this thing. It would go nuts if he showed up at the Fiserv Forum on Thursday night. That's when the Bucs come back home to play the Brooklyn Nets. Don't you think? Although I'll say this, it'd be great for this show. It'd be great for Thursday night ratings because I think a lot of people are going to tune in just to see if he does. But he won't. I would if there's less of a chance him showing up at the Fiserv Forum on Thursday night than I think of him playing for the Green Bay Packers this year. And that's slim. That's slim. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. That's not going to happen. He's not going to show up. He would get booed. I think the boos would rain down so much more than any kind of a cheer would. He won't. For a guy that really cares image-wise, for a guy that really cares perceptually, for a guy that's very private, and as perception is, doesn't seem to want to take a lot of the blame for his own actions. He would never put himself in that situation. He wouldn't do it. No matter how much, say, Wes Edens, Mark Lazary, and company would beg him to be there and put a face on the organization alongside them sitting courtside. He wouldn't be there. He wouldn't do that. I don't think he shows up. That's just my opinion. But anyway, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That's a great question, though, Ben. So, Ben, put the question out there. Give it to me.
I asked, what if you see him sitting courtside with Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst?
Then the three would be loudly cheered. It would be the significance of those three sitting there, that the hatchet has been buried, nobody's dead, and it would look like there's harmony again in Green Bay. The green can go back with the gold, and everybody can be happy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll cheer until he has to chug another beer.
That's exactly it. When he has to chug a beer and he can't do it, then they'll either laugh at him or boo him. One of the two. They'll take pleasure in booing him because that'll give them a reason to boo him and put them through all of this. But I agree with you. If he shows up at the game and he is sitting courtside with Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst, and they're just kind of sitting there hashing things out and shaking hands and laughing and cheering on the Bucs, we will all breathe a massive, harmonious sigh of relief because it'll feel like the world is right again inside the Fiserv Forum. But if he's sitting there with Shailene Woodley, those two, I can't imagine the amount of boos that will rain down upon them. Can you imagine how? I think it would be louder with boos than it would be for cheers if the Bucs won. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm imagining the video guy on TV first panning to maybe Rodgers and Woodley, everyone booing, and then they pan to the left, and there's Murphy and Gutekunst right next to them.
Right. Oh, I can't imagine. It will be loud. It will be unbelievable. That will be like almost. Have you ever pulled up next to a car on the street that has that thump in the back, and you can feel it in your car? You know, where they've got the music cranked and it's got so much bass you can feel it vibrate your stomach. That's the kind of resonation that would be inside the Fiserv Forum on Thursday night if Aaron Rodgers is shown sitting next to Shailene Woodley courtside with nobody else around him, just kind of cheering in his Bucs hat. I can't imagine the amount of boos that'll rain down upon him. Whew. Oh, my goodness. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. We are broadcasting live at KUNES RV. We are in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, here until 2 o'clock Central Time. Stop on by. Last hour of the show in the RV right here next to me. It's going to be good. Last hour, 1 o'clock. Make sure you're listening and make sure you're paying attention, watching on the Bud Light live stream, whatever it happens to be. Make sure you are here. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends, real good friends at Quick Trip, the official fuel provider of right here inside the, if you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, inside a brand new big unit cruiser. Compliments of our friends from KUNES RV. It's where we're broadcasting today, as a matter of fact. KUNES RV in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Stop by and say hello. But thanks to Quick Trip for being the official fuel provider and convenience store sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. So during the break, I got a phone call. This is one of these deals where, as somebody who does this for a living, you got to be really careful because of the people that call you to fill you in. There is a team, the Denver Broncos, are prepared. They have not made, and let me specify this, they have not made this offer officially to the Packers. But a source has said Aaron Rodgers is not showing tomorrow. That is for sure. And this, I'm giving it to you straight, what I just was told. Aaron Rodgers is not showing tomorrow. He would like to go to Denver. His fiance is from that area, has friends and family in that area. It is a competitive roster. Throughout the AFC, they could give him an opportunity to win and win now. They are prepared to make an offer of a couple of starters, a total of 4 draft choices, a couple of first rounds, a second rounder, and a fifth rounder. That is what I'm being told. Again, I can't get into much more detail, or somebody that puts this out there may end up knowing where it came from. But the Denver Broncos are prepared to offer 2 starters, a couple of first rounders, a second rounder, and a fifth rounder for Aaron Rodgers, according to a source in Denver. And they have stated that Aaron Rodgers, he knows for a fact, as he's told me, is not showing up tomorrow in Green Bay. He said, I can't tell you where he's at, but I know he's not coming to Green Bay. Just told, and well, as a matter of fact, for those of you that were listening on the Bud Light live stream, You might have heard the audio during the conversation. So there you go. That is according to a source out in Denver that says that's what they're prepared to. Now, the Packers have stated time and again they are not going to trade Aaron Rodgers. That is not a possibility. They're going to continue to work things out with him, and hopefully he returns to the team. But that is what's being stated coming out of Denver. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Your thoughts on that deal. Would you take it if you are a Packers fan? The Denver Broncos apparently they are prepared to make an offer to the Green Bay Packers, including 2 starters, 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a 5th-round pick. That's according to a source in Denver that says this could happen. As a matter of fact, I'm being tweeted right now or texted right now. It said the Broncos have an offer ready to go that would include a pair of first-round picks and 2 other draft picks, one of them being a high pick, 2 veterans on this team, 2 veteran starters, one of them being Teddy Bridgewater, as the Packers likely want a quarterback in return. There you go. Gary says the Packers can't afford to pay players. Give me a bunch of first and second round picks. No, Gary, no. Stop with the picks. There's no value in a pick. A pick has not performed in the NFL. There is 0 value in a pick. 0. Until they perform in the NFL, they carry 0 value. Stop treating picks like they're some kind of gold. The only way they're gold is if you turn them into gold. Otherwise, it's just another bad draft choice. If you turn a first-round pick into Justin Harrell and you traded Justin Harrell first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. You got to get something that's going to benefit your team right now. I'm not saying you're going to get Bradley Chubb, but you got to get some starters. You're trading a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer. 877-867-1670. Stop with the picks. Mark, stop with the picks. James, stop with the picks. Get 3 first rounders and trade them away. No. Stop with that. The picks don't mean anything. Let's go to Austin. Austin, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Not much. I don't even think, even any amount of starters would benefit, trading away Aaron Rodgers. He's a complete game changer. He's proven he can win games. He could take you to the championship game almost every season with, barely any receivers that he even has. Picks don't do it, like you said. I completely agree with you. But, I don't think it's worth it for Green Bay at all. You have to get your quarterback involved in the organization. You make him happy. Because after this, it's unpredictable. So you got to win now, and Aaron Rodgers gives you the best possibility to win this, for the next 3 seasons at least.
I agree. I think if you look at it honestly, you say if you're going to bring in, let's just say they do get Teddy Bridgewater. Who's the best quarterback on the roster then? Is it Bridgewater? Is it Love? Is it Bortles? Who's your best quarterback and who's your best option?
And that's such a huge gamble in itself. You know what I mean? Those guys are unpredictable. Teddy Bridgewater, when he was in Minnesota, he had a decent offense and a really good defense, that helped them win those games. Blake Bortles, unproven. Jordan Love, he's questionable. His last college season, he threw the most interceptions. I don't know. If you want to win Super Bowls, you have to stick with Aaron Rodgers, and that, nothing is worth it. That's a once-in-a-lifetime type of quarterback, right?
Right.
He's like a Tom Brady caliber, and you just have to get pieces to go around him, try to make him happy, try to get him to stick with the organization. I mean, Andy Dalton got word that the Bears were taking Fields, and he only signed a 1-year contract. You gotta, I don't know, do everything in your power to keep Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion.
I agree.
That's your best possible way.
That's the best
anybody
bet
else
you
who
have
says
to win
anything,
now.
I don't know.
That's the best bet you have to win now with a good roster. That I agree with.
Exactly.
Appreciate the phone call. 877-867-1670. Rashawn Gary took a couple of years to kind of get his feet wet and start to play well. So did Darnell Savage Jr. Jair Alexander has turned out to be a very solid lockdown corner. Took him a couple of years to do so. You go back, Kenny Clark, solid, but he wasn't solid in the beginning. He was solid a couple of years down the road. Then there was Demarius Randall. There was HaHa Clinton-Dix. There was Dayton Jones. There was Nick Perry. There was Derek Sherrod. Brian Bulaga he started right away almost after Mark Tauscher went down with a knee injury. Brian Bulaga comes in, and he pretty much anchored the right side of that line for a long time to come. B.J. Raji comes in 2009. By 2010, they were off to a Super Bowl. Then you've got Justin Harrell at number 1. A.J. Hawk never lived up to the billing. Aaron Rodgers certainly has. There was Ahmad Carroll as a first-round draft choice. Nick Barnett as a first-round draft choice. Javon Walker, Jamal Reynolds, Bubba Franks, Antoine Edwards, Vonnie Holliday, Ross Verba, John Michaels, Craig Newsome, Aaron Taylor, Wayne Simmons, Terrell Buckley, T-Buck, Vinnie Clark, Tony Bennett, Tony Mandrich. I'm going through all the first-round draft choices. I'm going through all the first-round draft choices for the last couple of decades. You've got a couple in there that have performed. You've got one surefire Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers that's there. But those are your first-round draft choices. So I get it. You don't poo-poo them. But don't tell me that, oh, my God, we got this haul for Aaron Rodgers and we're off and running. You want to look at it as, is it the Herschel Walker deal? Is this going to put the Cowboys, much like, they turned it around with all of those draft choices, is it going to put the Packers over the top like it did the Cowboys? Maybe. But don't you think you have a better shot at winning a championship over the next 3 years if you renegotiate this deal in some way, shape, or form, make Aaron Rodgers happy and bring him back? Rather than pushing the button now on a brand new era of Packers football? Look, if Aaron Rodgers was making $10 million a year, this is a no-brainer. This isn't about that. It's about a guy that's making 20% of your team's total salary. This is about a guy that is making a bunch of money and performing extremely well. This is about a guy that's pissed off about communication and somewhat petulant, takes things personally, way too personally at times maybe. This is about fans wanting a guy to own up to his contract. This is about fans wanting a team to communicate with their star player. This is a lot. This is a lot. It does, if you make a trade, it does create some cap space. You're going to save about $17 million. It does give you some flexibility. (877-867-1670). Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. This is interesting. So the deal is this. And I want to make sure I get this correct. Coming to you from a source that I've got, a friend of mine in Denver, that says the Broncos have an offer ready to go that would be to the Packers that would include a pair of first-round draft choices, 2 other draft picks, it looks like a second and a fifth, one of them being a high pick, a couple of veterans, most likely one of them being Teddy Bridgewater, ready to go. Both of them starters, by the way, ready to go. Would that be enough to pry Aaron Rodgers loose from Green Bay? 877-867-1670. We'll get back to the phone calls when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We are glad you were with us. We're broadcasting live today at KUNES RV. We are down here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. If you're looking for a brand new RV, if you're looking for a used RV, if you want to get rid of one on consignment, if you're looking to try it before you buy it, plenty of different things to do when it comes to KUNES. Go to KUNESRV.com, KUNESRV.com. And I got to say hi to our great sponsor from our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And look, the heat is on. The heat, and I love it. It was warm over the weekend. I'll tell you that right now. Out riding around on the motorcycle, put on a couple 100 miles this weekend, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And you can enjoy it while it's here. Yes, warm, sunshine, summer. Yeah, it's all on its way. But that means in a little over a few months, the chilly winds are going to come back. And it's time to upgrade right now with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, choose 6 years, no interest financing, or 40% off installation. But, you know, when you look at it that way, you think to yourself, I can do this all right now. You can get the highest value, the highest quality, the highest innovation, and the most preferred windows according to the 2021 Consumer Survey, and get those windows installed right now. It's that simple. And by the way, they've got different lines. They've got different custom lines, and they're all cut and fit to your home. They're not cookie cutters where you can only choose from a couple of lines and a couple of sizes. They make them for everybody. So all you got to do is order right now before the end of the month, and you get your choice of 6 years, no interest financing, or 40% off installation. And you can set up that free consultation right now. Free consultation right now at PellaWI.com/radio. That is PellaWI.com/radio, and you can see for yourself at our friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, everything they have to offer. And tell them we sent you. They're good people over there. Thanks to our friends at Pella. Broadcasting live inside the brand new big unit cruiser, inside the brand new big unit cruiser RV from KUNES RV. That's why we're here today. So if you want to stop by KUNES RV in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, come on by. We're here. We're right out front, as a matter of fact, right in front of the dealership. You can knock on the door, and during a commercial break, come on in, say hello, walk around, look around a little bit, hang out, should you choose to do so. but we welcome that. Really do. Kind of the studio audience, if you will. This is from Wayne. Says, hey, if they make the trade with Denver, I would prefer starters, not draft choices. I don't think feeling Teddy Bridgewater is drastically better than Blake Bortles. So why get another quarterback to do the same thing that you already have? Get a player that would make a difference from what is currently on the roster. I don't feel two first-round draft choices is enough, in my opinion. I agree with that. I think you need to get starters. Don't just give me a bunch of draft choices and say, here you go. General managers look at draft choices like gold. If you get one in the top 3 rounds, it's this like winning the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. I don't look at it that way. And I just ran through the list of first-round draft choices. You can go year by year and look at the first-round draft choices. Go back, let's just say, okay, Aaron Rodgers was a complete hit in 2005. Prior to that was Ahmad Carroll, Nick Barnett, Javon Walker, Jamal Reynolds, Bubba Franks, Antoine Edwards, and Vonnie Holliday, going all the way back to 1998. Okay? Once you get past Aaron Rodgers, there was AJ Hawk, AJ Hawk was a good player. He just wasn't a top 5 player. He didn't turn out to be that Hall of Famer, right? Then there was Justin Harrell. Then there wasn't a pick in 2008. Jordy Nelson was that traded pick. So Jordy Nelson was technically your first pick. So it was a tremendous pick. Then there was B.J. Raji, Brian Bulaga. Brian Bulaga anchored that line for a solid period of time. There was Derek Sherrod, Nick Perry, Dayton Jones, Clinton Dix, and Demarius Randall. Those are all first-round draft choices. Any one of them trip the trigger and say you're Super Bowl bound if you get them? I don't think so. That's why it's like, well, we got to get 3 first-rounders. That's fine. But if you turn 3 first-rounders into Demarius Randall, Clinton Dix, Dayton Jones, Nick Perry, whatever, doesn't matter. You're getting guys. Serviceable for a period of time, yes, but you're getting guys. You're getting a guy for a Hall of Famer. So it doesn't do that for me. I mean, if you get those draft choices and you get some bigger names on, say, rookie deals, yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat. But I still think your best chance to win a Super Bowl in the here and the now over the next 3 to 4 years is going to be to make peace in some way, shape, or form with Aaron Rodgers and figure out the salary cap. Because Aaron's got to understand, you got to get additional players in here as well. But this team right now is as loaded for bear and is loaded to win a championship with Rodgers under center as they have been in a long time. And he's sitting in Malibu somewhere with his arms folded going, no, I don't want to play. No. So they need to figure this out. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. The last hour is going to be great. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, and it's coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers have won 4 straight games in 9 of the last 10. That's after finishing off a sweep of Arizona yesterday with a 2-0 win. A large part of that, a dominating effort from Corbin Burnes. The righty threw 7 scoreless innings, registered a career-high 13 strikeouts, dropped his ERA to 1.97 this season, tied for the 4th best mark in all of baseball. Milwaukee also continued to hit the long ball, getting a pair of home runs in that win. Following a rough month of May for the club, things have turned around, just like Burnes predicted they would a few weeks back.
This baseball's going to come around. I think the last 2 weeks have kind of shown that. And the DC series kind of sparked everything, and I think we've kind of taken off from there. Everyone's throwing the ball well. Rotations, bullpen, playing great defense. The bats are coming alive. It's a pretty scary offense when you can get everyone swinging the bat like you can.
Milwaukee now a season high tying 7 games over 500 and sitting in a tie with Chicago for first place in the NL Central. Brewers will open a series in Cincinnati tomorrow. Turning the Bucks, it's game day for them in Brooklyn as they look to even the series in game 2. Nets will be without one of their big 3, James Harden, due to a hamstring injury that sidelined him early in game 1. Tip is at 6:30.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Well, Devontae Adams is expected to attend Green Bay's mandatory minicamp that starts tomorrow. That, according to the NFL Network. Packers wide receiver missed the last 2 weeks of voluntary OTAs and forfeited a $500,000 workout bonus as a result. Remains unclear if quarterback Aaron Rodgers will attend, as he remains at odds with the front office, though most do not expect him to be there. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Hour number 3, and we are glad to have you at the Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We're at KUNES RV here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. You see the front of the dealership right there. As if you're watching us on the Bud Light live stream, and that's where we're located, KUNES RV, they are the supplier for the brand new big unit cruiser, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. They got plenty of RVs and pop-ups and tow-behinds and fifth wheels and Class Cs and Class As and such to go along with it. But we are here live inside the brand-new big unit cruiser and loving it. I know it looks a little tight with our broadcast equipment in here, but nevertheless, it is something special. It is really, really nice, and we are glad to be here, glad to be working with our friends at KUNES, and we can't say thanks enough. Talking about a lot of different things. Big weekend for the Milwaukee Brewers. That cannot go unacknowledged because the Brewers win 4 straight over the Diamondbacks. They do it in many different facets, score a lot of runs via the long ball. Pitching was fantastic. Corbin Burns, a well-deserved standing ovation as he left the field yesterday, going 7 shutouts strong. The Bucks, not so much. The Bucks played flat-footed. They played lethargic. They did not shake the rust of that long wait off early. And they found themselves behind. They kept fighting back, but they didn't have it. They didn't hit their shots. They let boards get past them at inopportune times. It was just not the best of performances for the Milwaukee Bucks. When you talk about the Green Bay Packers, the speculation is from numerous sources, Adam Schefter and such, talking about this, but I got a call a little while ago from a very reliable source that says Aaron Rodgers, he can't tell me where he's at, but says is not going to show up in Green Bay tomorrow, will not be there. And in addition to that, the Denver Broncos are very much ready to make an offer to the Packers that would include a couple of first rounds, a couple of other draft choices, one of them being a higher draft choice, and 2 current starters. One of them, if the Packers demand a quarterback in return, would be Teddy Bridgewater. So there you go. That it's not an official offer that's been made to the Packers. It's just that is the offer that the Denver Broncos are prepared to make. Aaron Rodgers, according to source, has said that if he does get traded, he would like to go to Denver. Denver would give him the best opportunity to win and win now in many situations. Yes, you would have to fight through the AFC and get past the Kansas City Chiefs, and he'd be in the same division. But the Denver Broncos feel that they are ready to win and win now, short of a quarterback. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Eric, I know you were on hold a while. I appreciate you hanging in there, but we didn't get a chance to get to you. If you want to give us a call back, you certainly can. During the break, got a couple of emails. Kurt, listening to us in Madison, says, quote, get Rodgers in here now, do whatever it takes. Who are these people that say build around Love and you'll win a championship? They are idiots. Salary cap flexibility does not give you a championship. It gives you the ability to put pieces around a quarterback in a quarterback-driven league. By the way, I love KUNES RV. I rented a pop-up for the Indy event. Can't wait to see you guys out there. Kudos. That's from Kurt in Madison. Kurt, appreciate the email. Appreciate the email. Randy, listening to us in Milwaukee, he said, quote, I hope Rodgers shows up at the Bucs game so we can boo him. But I also hope that Goody shows up so we can boo him too. This front office is a joke. That is from Randy listening to us in Milwaukee. Now, Fred the dad, by the way, who is watching on the Bud Light live stream, says, has Gutekunst even made any great pick aside from Jair Alexander? Okay, got Jair. Elkhorn Jenkins is a mauler. That's a terrific pick. Darnell Savage Jr. played extremely well in his second year. Rashawn Gary emerged last year in his second year. Marquez Valdes-Scantling emerged. He had drops, yes, but he also is able to blow the lid off of a defense, somebody you have to account for. We talked about that last week in the Pro Football Focus rankings. Equinemius St. Brown, still working process, but I still think he could play a slot position and still give you possessions across the middle. So there's those choices. There's AJ Dillon, who is now becoming the 2 in a 1-2 punch from Aaron Jones. He's only been on the job a few years, so you have to give him some time to let his picks develop. But for all intents and purposes, take the Jordan Love pick out of it. He picked up A.J. Dillon. He picked up Kamal Martin. He picked up John Runyon. John Runyon filled in admirably last year. Rashawn Gary's emerged. Darnell Savage has emerged. Elkhorn Jenkins has certainly emerged. The depth, Ty Summers, one of your better special teams players. When you talk about guys getting downfield, Jair Alexander. I mentioned Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Equinemius St. Brown. You hope that Eric Stokes, Josh Myers, Amari Rodgers all turn out to be solid players. To Daryl Slayton, hopefully he fills the bill on the defensive front. I mean, but those guys are still projects. In 3 years, he's done rather well. Take the Jordan Love pick out of it. So to answer your question, Jair's a lockdown guy, and he's advanced. But the other guys that he's picked up, Elkhorn Jenkins can be a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he's made some other good picks besides just Jair Alexander. I agree with that. But I do not agree with that he's only had one good pick. 877-867-1670. If Gutekunst is doing great with the picks, then do you feel that the Packers should make this trade? If you know Rodgers is not showing up, if you know it, and he has said, nope, I am not coming, I don't care what you give me, and if you know for certain, via him being a, quote, man of his word in many senses, if you know he's not coming, you have one of two choices. You can either set the precedent and say, that's okay. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. If you don't get paid, you don't play. You're not going to be playing for anybody else. You're either going to play for us or you're not going to play anymore. You either can do that, or you can say we're going to get the most for you that we can, and we're going to trade you to an AFC team. We know that Denver's where he wants to go. At least that's according to sources. So you can do that. That's your option. Which then I would ask you as a fan, if you know Rodgers isn't showing up and you have a trade or let him sit, what would you do? If you know he's not coming, what would you do? Would you trade him or would you let him sit? Because he's as hot a commodity as you're ever going to get. For some that say let him sit out the year and then see what love is before you figure out if you're going to talk to Aaron Rodgers again, you can't do that. Rodgers is as hot, right? Because if you let him sit, he's going to be not a 37-year-old going on to 38. He's going to be a 38 going on to 39, and he's going to be a year out of football. You're not going to do that. That's just my opinion. I mean, you can maybe have a different one, but you're not going to do that. Not in my opinion. If you believe that he's the guy, then he's the guy, and you're gonna trade him away. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Brett says if you know he's not coming back, you got to take the deal. We got a lot of people that are starting to chime in, and those that are on hold as well. So let's get back to the phone calls. 877-867-1670. Let's go to Ren from La Crosse, listening to us on the mighty WKTY. Ren, how you doing, man?
Good, Bill. Good. Great show today. I hope you get up there with this RV. You're going to have this summer.
It'll be there. It'll be there for sure. It'll be there for sure.
Absolutely. This trade, if Rodgers really doesn't want to play for us, and we know we need a quarterback, I would say if it could happen, would they do it? We trade Rodgers to Denver, take those picks and starters, swap them to Houston for Deshaun Watson, and now we have another prime quarterback for a decade.
Do you want Deshaun Watson and all of his problems in the Packers organization?
Oh, yeah. Compared to what Rodgers is doing? Absolutely. I think all that is going to get settled. We would have the team already around Deshaun Watson, and I think we'd have the division for another decade.
Interesting.
With a chance to go to the Super Bowl dang near every year. He is that good of a quarterback.
Wow. I think Deshaun Watson is tremendous on the field. It's the off the field issues and the fact that your quarterback is surfing Craigslist to try to find women to rub him down. There's something on the extreme creep factor about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But, I mean, hey, if it all gets settled, there's lots of people in the NFL that do bad things and still play. You know? And, I mean, if Green Bay is going to keep up, we're going to need someone of that caliber of player. I mean, I don't think Teddy Bridgewater's the answer. I sure wish Jordan Love was the answer. But I know Deshaun Watson can win championships if there's a team around him. And I believe in what Goody's doing with the draft picks and everything and bringing in the free agents like the Smith brothers and Adrian Amos and the like. So, I mean, I think it would solve a lot of problems. Watson wants out of Houston. Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. And Houston needs picks. And Denver wants Aaron.
Yeah, Denver wants Aaron. They believe they're ready to win now. I don't know what they if you're going to take a starter off of Denver's roster, I'm sure they're going to be very quick to say, well, we don't need Teddy Bridgewater anymore, therefore we'll go ahead and get rid of him. I mean, I wouldn't even take Drew Lock, to be honest with you. Even if they offered up the second-round draft choice that was Drew Lock, I wouldn't do that. But I get it. I appreciate the phone call. Let's do it this way. Look at this. Who would you take off of that roster? Right? 877-867-1670. If they're going to offer you, say, Jerry Jeudy, Bradley Chubb, Jeudy and Chubb, I do that. I do that. I don't want to do it. My goal is ultimately to bring Aaron Rodgers back. But if you know Rodgers is not showing up, again, that's under this precedent or perception that Rodgers is not going to be there. He's not coming back. Oh, I will say this, though. Going back to the Deshaun Watson thing. One, I don't even think Deshaun Watson's going to play this year. And two, when you talk about the distinction between a guy sitting out because he's unhappy with an organization versus a guy who's in legal trouble and being sued by numerous people because he's a creeper, I'll take the guy who's being somewhat petulant every damn day of the week. The guy that's a creeper, that many people to come out and say there's a problem here, there's a problem here. Unless this is one hell of an orchestrated, lynching of one guy's career by a group of people, which I would find really hard to substantiate and to fathom. I can't fathom that I would want a guy creeping Craigslist to try to find women to rub him down. I've been very adamant about that for quite some time. As much as there's been speculation about Deshaun Watson and the trade value and such, I can't imagine anybody touching him right now. Pardon the pun. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Yeah, Kinger says $5. Deshaun Watson does not play a snap this year. I'm with you. I don't think he does. I think Deshaun Watson is not. He's got a long road ahead. He's got a long road ahead with the NFL right now. Chris says if 12 goes, Tay's going to be right behind him. the amount of money you could pay Davante Adams if you get rid of Aaron Rodgers' contract could probably keep him here. But if he really thought, okay, Rodgers set the precedent and I'm out of here, I would not put it past Davante Adams to say, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I mean, there's a lot of guys that want to remain in Green Bay and end their career and all that kind of stuff with the team that drafts them, but I don't know if Davante Adams ends up leaving or not. If you can pay him more money than anybody else, chances are he stays. Ronald says Chubb, Judy, and Locke, and 2 firsts and a first and 1 second would do it for me. That's from Ronald. Ronald, appreciate the email. 877-86, or appreciate the hit up on the Bud Light live stream. 877-867-1670. Don't forget, we're about 45 minutes away. A very special in RV studio guest, as we are broadcasting live inside the brand new cruiser, the brand new RV. That is from our friends at KUNES RV. Go to KUNES, KUNESRV.com. That is KUNESRV.com. About 45 minutes away, we're going to have a guest here in studio, so to speak, who's going to be joining us. We'll talk some more Packers coming up in the last hour as well. By the way, the original at treating guys with ED, others have come along, but it's our friends from the New Mail Medical Center. They've been doing it for quite some time at New Mail. The medical experts are helping guys with ED each and every day. They've got a 98% success rate when it comes to ED. That's right, 98%. And when it comes to low energy, brain fog, if you're sluggish, if you're moody, if you're up and down, could be some low T. They help me out with that. They can help you out with that. It's just a phone call away. That's it. 414-455-4451 and tell them I sent you. 414-455-4451. But if you think, say, you got a few pounds you put on and you want to start dropping those pounds, you want to do what I did and follow me down that path, because it has been a godsend. I was huge years and years ago. And then as I started to once I got down to the weight that I wanted, I started to put some of that weight back on. I turned to New Mail and I said, hey, is there a plan? And they said, we can help you out. And they did. And it stayed off. That's the biggest thing. It's not, you kind of change your life a little bit, but it's not life-changing except for the fact that you can lose the weight and start to feel better, look better, feel healthier, all that kind of good stuff. But you got to call them. 414-455-4451. 414-455-4451. Again, that's the New Mail Medical Center, locations in Milwaukee and in Green Bay. 414-455-4451. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up live from KUNES RV here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Hey, our tailgate season is upon us. Did you do any grilling out over the weekend? It might have been a little hot. I will never say it's too hot to do anything in the state of Wisconsin because we don't get heat that much. But if you were like me, maybe over the weekend you did a little grilling. Whether you're going to do, and we're going to be back to full capacity at the ballpark. It's a reopening day coming to American Family Field. Excited for that. But if you're going to be doing some tailgating in your backyard, maybe at the ballpark, or if you're going to be following us around, you could be doing it a big-time tailgate up at a place like Road America. The Indy cars are coming. Great way to do it. It's our friends at Scholze Family Farms Beef. They have the preformed beef patties available, skinless hot dogs for the kids, all kinds of different flavors of brats available, and they have the steaks. They have the steaks. They've got the fillets. They've got the ribeyes, the New York strips. You go just on and on and on. They got it all for your grilling season. The tomahawk ribeyes, the briskets, the roasts, all of that stuff. You could smoke it, whatever it happened, whatever you want to do, whatever you're the connoisseur of. They have something for everybody at ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That's Scholze, SCHOLZE, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. And yes, they do have indeed a on-site store as well. So if you're in the Black River Falls area or up in Humbird, Wisconsin, you can stop in and see for yourself everything they have. But the best thing about it with Scholze Family Beef, go to ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, and then you can look at everything and kind of put together a sample pack, you know? And then when you get the sample pack, you can pick out what you like and then put it together for a subscription and have a 6-month or a 1-year subscription. It's that simple. And check that out. So, by all means, go to Scholze, SCHOLZE, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That is ScholzeFamilyBeef.com, SCHOLZE, ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. Dennis says, Bill, a friend made a comment to me that Gutekunst has done more for the Packers in 3 years than Rodgers has done on all of his time here. Your thoughts? Well, how do you mean? I guess. I mean, your first answer would be no. Rodgers accumulated Hall of Fame stats. Gutekunst, do you think Gutekunst is ready to go to the Hall of Fame as a general manager? I mean, that's kind of a ludicrous statement. You can go over the draft choices that he has made. He's refortified the team, but has he done more than Ted Thompson? You know? No. So no, it's premature. It's premature to state what that legacy is going to be, because you got to wait and see. 877-867-1670. Again, a source in Denver saying that they are ready to present to the Packers if indeed it comes to Aaron Rodgers possibly getting traded, that the Denver Broncos are ready to offer 2 starters. One of them, if the Packers want a quarterback, being Teddy Bridgewater. 2 first-round draft choices, 2 other draft choices as well to the Green Bay Packers. So 4 total, 2 of them being first round, plus 2 starters to the Packers for the services of Aaron Rodgers. Would you make that deal? 877-867-1670. By the way, Ben, now where is the poll up, by the way? You put the poll up.
It's up on my Twitter at Ben-Z Kenny. I believe Zone Madison also retweeted it.
The Zone out in Madison, our friends out there, retweeted it. And Ben-Z Kenny?
Yep.
You can find it there as well. Would you do the deal? 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shot, go ahead and do so. Let's go to Mark. Mark, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man? Mark. Once, twice, Mark's gone. Would you do the deal? Dave from Monona, what's wrong with you, man? Seriously. What's wrong with you? This is from Jason. Jason says, I would take the deal in a heartbeat. Aaron Rodgers is not coming back to play for the Green Bay Packers. You have to get something for him. Meanwhile, Aaron says that I don't feel the Packers need to trade Aaron Rodgers right now. You have to wait this thing out, maybe the second week of preseason before making a deal. Mike says if you know he's not coming back, then you have to go ahead and make a deal. I would take that, but I would not want Teddy Bridgewater in return. I think it's just like Blake Bortles. You're just finding another retread. I would find somebody else as a starter to sweeten the pot. Would you make the deal? If you're the Packers, if you know Aaron Rodgers is not coming back. This is our buddy the Dude who emails us, says, what 2 starters do you pick off of the Denver squad? We already have a quarterback, so solidify the defense. Who off of that team can we fit under the cap if we trade him anyway? Do they have an offensive lineman that would work for us? Chubb and who? Also, their punter better than ours? Swap him out. Then get the draft picks. The bottom line, I would only be happy with some players that it would hurt them to lose. That is from our buddy the Dude. Dave says, hey, Bill, I'm old enough to remember the Bucs trading Kareem for a king's ransom back in the day. Yes, they got a lot for him, but they have not won another championship since then. Just saying. That's Dave, I love you, man. I've been saying the exact same thing. It doesn't guarantee you anything. Steve says, not sure that anybody has mentioned this. How about you think about Rodgers would mesh with Pat Shurmur as an offensive coordinator? I think it would be how much would Pat Shurmur mesh with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback? That would be the way that would go. Randy says, can we trade Mark Murphy as part of the deal? Craig said, would punish Rodgers, make him sit, then he will be stuck with his fiance for that length of time. Then he would beg to come back. I get it. This is from, who's this from? This is from Denver Dave, who says, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers come to Green Bay, come from Green Bay to Denver. Although you can leave his fiance at home, we don't need her. She seems to be a little bit flighty. I don't know Shailene Woodley. I don't know anything about the girl. I don't know if she's not. I don't know. The only thing I know about her is she's an actress. The only thing I know about her is that she looked like she was homeless dancing with him. And, there you go. Some people walking past the cruiser. I just saw him pass by the cameras. That she looked like she was, I don't know, out of some kind of a homeless venture. So there you go. 877-867-16. There goes our special guest. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
When you're looking for the best value on 24 and 30 packs of your favorite beer brands, look no further than your neighborhood Quick Trip. Miller Lite, Bud Light, Busch Light, Coors Light, Quick Trip has the lowest legal beer prices in the state of Wisconsin for your summer outings, tailgates, and cookouts. And while you're shopping for your favorite beer brands, check out our fresh meat case, brats, burgers, chops, steaks, premium meats, all at great prices. Quick Trip, we got you covered, Wisconsin.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes.
Okay, cool. Let me see here.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes.
Oh, it's 51-49 in the trade. Okay, cool.
Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
RV studio guest, and we'll let you know who that is coming up here shortly. 877-867-1670. Hey, if you haven't ever been to a wine dinner at the Four Seasons Island Resort, your chance is now. It's now. I'm not kidding. It's now, because Friday, June 18th, there's summer wine dinner in the Diamond Room. 5 courses, each paired with a complimentary wine. It's only $75 a person. It includes tax and gratuity. And you can email our girl Barb up there, B-A-R-B, Barb at the4seasonswi.com. Barb at the4, F-O-U-R, seasonswi.com. Reserve your seat. And if you just want to go for the weekend, maybe you want to go to the dinner, maybe you don't, but if you want to go up and you just want to kind of take your ATV up there and load up on the trails, they have trailer parking, access to all those trails in Marinette County. Also, you can golf. The river course is open on the island. You're going to enjoy the par 39-hole course, runs right along the Menominee River. Maybe you want to go up to play a championship course. Go to the Pine Mountain Resort. Timberstone Championship Golf Course is beautiful, built right into the mountain. Pine Mountain Resort. You can go to either place. Get a hold of our girl Barb, B-A-R-B, at the4seasonswi.com. Barb at the4, F-O-U-R, seasonswi.com. Or you call her, 715-324-5800. They are now open 7 days a week. 55 luxury rooms, various room types. They've got balconies, patios. They even have pet-friendly rooms. You can relax in the huge indoor saltwater pool, jacuzzi, saunas, all that kind of good stuff. But they've got the Boundary Waters Bar. They've got the lounge upstairs, the Diamond Room, which is fine dining, ice cream parlor. They've got an arcade room for kids, all kinds of stuff, plus big banquet space if you want to bring your sales team and get everybody back together after this whole COVID thing is now winding down. Plenty of different ways to get up and get away and get together over at the Four Seasons Island Resort or Pine Mountain Resort. But again, you got to call them. All you got to do is give them a buzz, 715-324-5800. Get a hold of our girl Barb, B-A-R-B, 715-324-5800. That is the Four Seasons Island Resort, and it's beautiful up there. Beautiful. If you want to give us a shout, go ahead and do so. Now, the trade that is being rumored, that has been presented to me, just a little while ago, I had a really good source out in Denver that says the Broncos are ready to make an offer to the Packers should Aaron Rodgers decide he is definitely 100% not coming back. The offer is 2 starters. If the Packers would demand a quarterback in return, that would be Teddy Bridgewater and another starter. A couple of first-rounders and 2 other draft choices, assumed to be a second and a fifth round in different years. We don't know. But so, in other words, two first-rounders, 2 starters, a second and a fifth. Would you make the deal, or would you just say, you know what, we're going to continue to try to work this out with Aaron Rodgers, or I'm just going to be obstinate and let him sit? What would you do? Aaron says, does trading Aaron Rodgers to Denver make the Broncos a Super Bowl contender? Remember, we are going to want starters in return and picks. It could be a benefit to the Packers if Bortles did take Jacksonville to an AFC championship game with players to solidify the defense. We could be the winner in the deal. Do you feel if, say, and again, I'm only throwing this out there. Let's say you get Bradley Chubb. Let's say you get Jerry Jeudy. Would you take that deal? But let's say you get Tim Patrick. Would you take the deal? Tim Patrick, number 81, wide receiver. Let's say you take Tim Patrick. Would you take that deal? Would you take Tim Patrick and Teddy Bridgewater and make that deal? Would you take that deal if it was Drew Lock instead of Teddy Bridgewater? Would you make that deal? What would it take now if you said Patrick Surtain, the new left corner, and then take that deal with, say, a guy like Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton or Tim Patrick? Tim Patrick has become a pretty good wide receiver for them. 877-867-1670. Would you take that deal? Because to me, I get it. You want to have starters. You want to have guys that are going to come in and contribute right here, right now. Understand. As much as I love let's get all these draft choices, those guys haven't proven anything. Those guys haven't won anything in the National Football League. If you make the deal, you want starters for Rodgers. It's that simple. You want starters for Rodgers. Eric says, how much of the we want Rodgers in Green Bay from Murphy and company are just to keep Aaron Rodgers' trade value up, and if they are sick of Rodgers being a diva, they maybe want him out? Publicly, you're going to say you want to keep Aaron Rodgers. But nobody is reporting right now that the Packers are taking trade offers. If anybody was in legitimate contact and in a trade discussion, or if numerous teams were offering trades, or if Gutekunst had put the word out to teams to say, hey, give us a call with your best offer, then we would know about it. You'd hear about it. Somebody would have leaked the information to say, hey, we got a call from Brian Gutekunst. He's starting to take trade offers for Aaron Rodgers. That's not happening. Not right now. Eric says Chubb, Jeudy, Patrick, and a 21st and 2 first-round deals would be a done deal. Then I'd take the deal. But until then, I'm not getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. By the way, if you're the Packers, would you accept the deal? The Broncos get Aaron Rodgers. Packers get a couple of starters, a couple of firsts, a second, and a fifth. Would you take the deal? 49% of you say yes. 51% of you say, nah, baby, nah. How about that? 51% of you say no. You would not. Our buddy Ben Z. Kenny. Ben Z, as in zebra, Kenny, Kenney, over there on Twitter, producing the program, put the poll question up. Follow Ben if you want to. But if you're the Packers, would you accept the deal? Broncos get Aaron Rodgers. Packers get a couple of starters, a couple of first-round picks, a second and a fifth. Yay or nay, would you take the deal? 49% of you right now say nope. You would not. Or 49% of you say yes. 51% of you say nope, you would not. You would not do the deal. This is from Jake. Jake says, if Aaron Rodgers is definitely not playing for the Green Bay Packers, you have to get something for him, don't you? You can't just let him sit and rot and watch his legacy then rot away with it and not get anything in return. At least his legacy should be that we got enough players to put us over the top. If he's won us one championship, let his trade win us another. This is from Anthony, who says there is no guarantee that Jordan Love or anybody else for that matter is going to come in and win a championship in a quarterback-driven league for the Green Bay Packers. Why don't people understand this? It's all about quarterback play. You protect them like they're diamonds or something, and you don't allow defenders to touch them anymore. You keep them upright. This guy could play until he's 45, and we're ready to chuck him out the window because he's got hurt feelings. Somebody fly out there and kiss his ass, damn it. He gives us the best opportunity to win. That is from Anthony. Anthony, appreciate the email. 877-867-1670. You got something to say, say it. Get a hold of us. Got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
It's finally summer, Gina Della from Pella. You know what that means.
For sure, Mark Chimera. enjoying warm sunshine and fresh air. But if you want to host game day Packers parties in comfort this fall, you've got to call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin now.
Gina, I already have energy efficient Pella windows, but you seem to be on a roll, so.
Depending on the style and materials you choose, you could upgrade your home with Pella Windows in as little as 8 weeks.
Bring it home, Gina.
And right now, you can choose 40% off installation or 6-year no-interest financing.
That's into 2027.
You're not kidding. Just order by June 30th. Set your free consultation now at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
He's succeeding much better. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Glad to have you. David says, love the insight. First of all, I would send an investigator to Houston to find out more about Deshaun Watson. If it's not as bad as it looks, then go forward. Send one to Houston and take a chance, and he is not suspended. If Watson can play at least 15 games this coming season, then make it a 1 and a 3 conditional trade. Then send Aaron Rodgers to Denver. Get 2 1s, Chubb, Judy, and Surtain, assuming Denver will send this King's ransom. The 2 1s are what you might need to get to Houston. So you actually gained Watson, Chubb, Judy, and Surtain. Then continue to teach love and see what comes down after that. So in other words, there you go. Send draft choices to Houston for Deshaun Watson if indeed he's not in that much trouble. Then make the deal for Aaron Rodgers to go to Denver, and then make the deal there. You would probably have to send Love to Houston because they're not going to do anything for without a quarterback. They got to have a quarterback because the draft choice this year isn't going to mean anything until next year. You know what I mean? Good thought, but you got to see because they're going to need a quarterback. Just saying. By the way, we are broadcasting live down here at KUNES RV. KUNES, KUNES RV. Go to KUNESRV.com. They have a huge selection of Jayco, Alliance, Coachman, Dutchman, Forest River, Gulfstream, and what we're sitting in right now, a big, brand new, beautiful Nexus RV. And this is the new home, as it's our big unit cruiser. It's going to be out and about for the remainder of the summer. We're going to have a great time in this thing, and hopefully, yeah, right. Craig says you're going to trade Deshaun Watson and his 50 Instagram massagers. Yeah, I don't want that either. Look, if Deshaun Watson doesn't come with that baggage, you can consider that deal. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. But the dude is trolling Craigslist for women to rub him down. And not just one, but multiple. I mean, we know of at least 25. And now they say there's 10 more that say he's a really good guy. So there's 35. Do we really want more? I mean, that's in a year. 35 women in a year. That's not even everybody that's come forward. You're probably looking upwards of maybe 45. You don't want that creeper. You just don't. I don't care what kind of. It just goes to show if you got mad ball skills, you can and I don't mean that in a pun way. If you can play the game, people are going to say, yeah, go ahead. We'll overlook anything. How would you like it if it was your daughter that was a masseuse and she was trolled by Deshaun Watson? Groped, felt up, whatever happens, We'll see what happens if it all comes out to be true or not. But, man, I don't think so. I don't want to see Deshaun Watson anywhere near Wisconsin. No way. But by the way, go to KUNES RV. Go to KUNES, KUNESRV.com for all the information. And they rent. They have rentals, so you can try it before you buy it. And in addition to that, they also have consignment. And if you're looking to sell your camper or your RV and you want to get rid of all the headaches and the hassles and all that kind of stuff, bring it to a dealership. Or they have, within 50 miles of the dealership, they have free pickup. You can do that as well. Coming up in the next hour, it is going to be a very special hour. A very special hour as we're going to sit here live in studio in RV guest, and we're going to talk a lot of Green Bay Packers football. And we're going to get into all of that coming up, so stay tuned for that. I want to remind you also, coming up on Wednesday, it is the Happy Hour live stream. We're back yet again. This time we're going to be with the Cruiser. We are going to be at State Fair Park. It is Wednesday Night Live. Wednesday Night Live is back. It's going to be the first big outing of not only the band Cherry Pie, but the first time the doors have opened in more than a year and a half. And it's going to be a terrific, terrific time. We're going to sit down with Leanne Hawk, who is the managing partner of the Budweiser Pavilion and the executive director of the Wisconsin State Fair, Kathleen O'Leary, and we're going to get her comments on the opening of the fair, post-pandemic, and all that kind of stuff. So that is coming up on Wednesday, starting immediately at 5 o'clock, and it's going to prelude the opening of Wednesday Night Live out at State Fair Park. So make sure, if you get a chance to tune in, please do so. And if not, it'll rerun, and it's always there in Infinity at YouTube, on Twitch TV, on the Facebook fan page, any one of those. you can find it, and it's going to be a terrific time. If you can't come out and join us live, please come out and join us live. Coming up on Wednesday night, we're going to have a lot of fun. That is Wednesday night for the Happy Hour live stream. It is going to be the executive director, managing director of the Bud Pavilion at Wisconsin State Fair Park, as Cherry Pie will play and take the stage at 7 o'clock Wednesday night. If the weather's good, and it looks like the storms are going to kind of hold off, so if the weather's good, they're expecting upwards of anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people, depending on how nice the weather is. And it should be a great time. And the executive director of the Wisconsin State Fair. So the poll question right now, Ben, can you give me a quick update?
56% yes, 45% no.
Would you make the trade for Aaron Rodgers? 56% of you saying yes. So let's do this. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes, and then we are coming back. We're going to talk more Packers, but a very special in-studio, in-RV guest is here, live and in person. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show. Final hour, a full hour coming up next. Good day and welcome. Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show, and we are glad you are with us on this very, very special day. It's special in numerous ways. As our friends at KUNESRV.com have given us today's the day that we take the acceptance of the brand new big unit cruiser. We are broadcasting live in this thing today. I thought it was appropriate coming down here and hanging out with everybody, and Scott and the whole group down here, the general manager down here in Elkhorn. They have 10 dealerships, 9 of them in the state of Wisconsin, so they're everywhere. One in northern Illinois as well. So if you want to rent, if you want to buy, if you want to trade in, if you want to bring it over on consignment, they deal with RVs, campers, tow behinds, pop-ups, Class A's, Class B's, Class C, whatever. They got it all. And stop in and say hello. And then joining us for a reunion, if you will, as he is now a contributor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network, our good buddy, and great to be reunited again. If you're following on the Bud Light live stream, you can see him live and in person our good friend Mike Clements.
Bill,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. This thing is outstanding. This RV, this is huge.
Yeah, this is the home away from home.
State of the art, man.
Yeah, this is the home away from home. I got to get a little rug in here, throw Elmo in the middle of it, and hopefully you don't poop on the floor.
No,
him or me.
Well, this is like the kind of things you see major music acts, country, rock, cruising across the country in.
Yep.
So, and you're going to tour all over the state this summer, right?
Yep, we're going to be everywhere. We start out. This will be a Wednesday Night Live this coming Wednesday, and then it'll be up in Rice Lake with Larry the Cable Guy and the gang. Hopefully he's going to be there from the Celebrity Golf Outing and all the former Packers and Packers and Vikings, and then going to be at the IndyCar races. There's a special guest that's going to join us at the NASCAR event, which I can't say because they didn't want me to, but nevertheless. And then it's going to be at Sturgis this year. Jesse James from Jackal, going to be hanging out with him for a while. So we got some touring to do.
Well, I'll tell you, it's great. I'm so excited to be with the show, back with the show on this new network that you've built, 10 stations and more to come, I imagine. And I'll be on every day for you from now until the end of the season, all the way to the Super Bowl, talking about what's going on with the Packers, talking about what's going on in the NFL. The news you've got today is ESPN talking about, okay, so if Aaron Rodgers does not report, and at this point, at this hour, nobody thinks he's going to, the mandatory minicamp starts tomorrow, and so that means that Rodgers is going to pay about $93,000 in fines, in theory. That would be like about $15,000 tomorrow, and then it's like $40,000 for day 2, and it adds up to $93,000. Yeah. But the conventional wisdom, and everybody that I've talked to said, in this situation, the Packers will waive that.
Yeah, they're not going to fine him.
And technically, it'll be called an
excused absence. Yeah.
And you've covered the statement from Mark Murphy over the weekend in his monthly newsletter to fans,
right? Where
he said, yeah, we're getting a lot of questions. I'd say the incoming mail I get is about 50-50. It's, this situation, this news about Aaron has divided Packer Nation. We continue our talks, whether that actually means, that Russ Ball, Vice President of Finance, comes to Goody and Mark and says, yeah, did David Dunn, the agent, return your call? No, nothing today.
Right.
Because I think that's what's going on. Nevertheless, you're at this point where the ball is in Rodgers' court. I'm sure they've offered him the moon. Aaron just needs to finally define what it is he really wants out of this situation. So,
right.
I brought some, I wanted to sort of take folks back because nobody in the media is excited about covering this story. Anybody that I've talked to, whether people have been there the last 2 or 3 seasons or were here for the Favre thing, 15 years ago, nobody's excited about doing this, just the way this thing is played up. But I thought the best thing I could do, because moving forward, there's a lot of new players that I want to talk to you and the listeners about over the next couple of days in this mini camp. So I've got this cut one where Aaron Rodgers, this is kind of where this thing started. After they lost to the Bucs, Aaron started talking about, it happens every year. Last game of the year now, our season's suddenly over. And will I have Mercedes Lewis next year? Will I have Corey Linsley? Will I have Aaron Jones? Mm-hmm. And so when Aaron Rodgers said this after the game, this started some speculation, if we can hear that.
A lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain, myself included. That's what's sad about it most. Getting this far, obviously there's going to be an end to it at some point, whether we make it past this one or not. But just the uncertainty is tough, and the finality of it all.
Now, what did you think that night when you heard him say that on the show?
I thought that there was a strong possibility he wasn't going to be back. When I heard that, I thought there was frustration. I was, they lost, you're down. But when he said about the uncertainty and then said, including my own, because I thought, well, there's no uncertainty there. You're going to be back as the Packers quarterback.
I just thought he was being humble.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was thinking like, screw this. This is a broken record.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the same ending.
I thought at the time, boy, that's a big statement to say, including my own. That was the first thing. And then I thought to myself, because I thought, well, he sounds like he's leaving. And then I thought, well, is it just, the fact that he's angry? And then I thought, well, because they didn't go for it on 4th down, he's pissed off at LaFleur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That there was more to it than that. But I never. He must have been harboring this for a while.
Well, see, half of the press box that night, post game, 11 o'clock at night, guys start getting together and say, "What do you think that meant?"
Right.
Half of the guys were like ready to tweet, "Oh, this sounds like he's leaving." The other half, and that was me, that just said, this guy just lost a game again. He thought he had a team. He thought that they could beat these guys in a second meeting. He thought that they had a game plan that was going to work. They had 2 or 3 bad things happen, go the wrong way. Defense let him down, et cetera, et cetera. Give it a week. Give it some time. So then some people were beginning to wonder, well, does Aaron Rodgers know something? That the team is all ready to move on with him. And so here's what Mark Murphy said about a week after the NFC loss to the Buccaneers.
I'll say this. There's no way in heck that Aaron is not going to be on the Packers. I mean, he is he's going to be the MVP of the league. Might have had his best year ever. He's our unquestioned leader. And, we're not idiots.
Yeah, we're not idiots.
That rings so loud now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That statement rings so incredibly loud because people look at you and go, you're in the same mess again. Yeah, you could be idiots.
A week goes by. It's the eve of the Super Bowl and the NFL Honors Show from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of this stuff with Zoom. And they say, and the most valuable player for the 2020 season is Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron comes in on the Zoom and says, thanks. I want to thank all the team.
Who looked, by the way, like he just woke up.
Yes.
Like somebody went, hey, Aaron, you won.
Yeah.
Went, oh, crap. Okay, dial him in.
So he wanted to thank numerous players and coaches, et cetera. And I want to thank my fiance. Now, I'm telling you, everybody that covers this team that was with him every day last year, and 99% of that team gasped. Like, what?
Yeah.
Fiance? I mean, this guy kept that a secret 4 months.
Right.
Which is fine, but it's just another chapter in this guy. Everything with this guy's got to be complicated. Everything's got to be, I'm going to deal the cards when I want to deal them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we knew that he broke up with Danica Patrick last year around April, and it was shortly after the draft. And to me, I kind of thought that meant, well, all right, giddy up. 2 years with Danica, it had run its course. I'm going to get into and work and get my nose to the grindstone and do what I need to do in year 2 of this offense. And in fact, have himself an MVP season. And we didn't watch, the little entertainment things like, oh, he's dating this Shailene now, or he's seeing this person.
Right.
We don't follow that unless at least I don't.
No.
Unless it has something to do with the team, with his performance as a quarterback. So that's where this guy is at. Then, came the announcement he's going to co-host Jeopardy, something that he loves to do. 5 years ago when he was on as a contestant and he beat, that former astronaut, David Kelly. This guy had been on the space station. And after he won that, I asked Aaron in his locker, just, off record, I said, so what's it take to win Jeopardy? He said, well, when they ask you to come on Wednesday for orientation for a Thursday taping,
yeah,
you show up Tuesday. You show up Tuesday and you introduce yourself. You watch some of the other tapings. You go out into the set. You talk to Alex. You talk to the producers. You get your hand on the buzzer. So the next day, you already feel ahead of the game for your orientation. And on Thursday, it's like you've been there all week.
Right.
And so he ends up beating. I said, but you beat an astronaut, a shuttle astronaut in that game. And he said, truth be told, he just got off the International Space Station, landed on a Russian spacecraft in Russia, and flew all the way from Moscow to L.A. for that taping. Since there might have been some jet lag involved.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what the time zone jet lag is from the space station to Earth.
I know.
Right?
Right. And who knows? There might be luggage concerns and TSA checks, all that stuff.
Right.
Wait, what is this? Where did this come from? The International Space Station.
That's a bag of urine.
So Tang. It's a bag of
It's
Tang.
Tang.
So here's Aaron Rodgers as the guest host of Jeopardy, and he's taking shots at Green Bay and what happened in the NFC Championship. Here's Aaron.
Accepting a Lifetime Achievement Emmy, he said, just take 10 seconds to think of the people who have helped you become who you are. Over to our two-day champion on the end. Scott, did you come up with the correct response? Who wanted to kick that field goal? That is a great question. Should be correct, but unfortunately for this game today, that's incorrect.
And there was another little clip that got out there in social media about him saying, "Hey, thanks for asking that question, man. That was great. I really like." He wanted it to get a little shot in, get a dig at LaFleur. Why didn't you go for it on fourth down? All that kind of stuff, right? And so Aaron publicly starts doing some interviews to promote when he's on Jeopardy, and the ratings go up 14 points.
Yeah.
Thanks to Packer Nation, no doubt, and his own popularity. And he starts that conversation publicly like, yeah, I could do this. I could show up for 46 taping days in the off season and still play football, right? Yeah, you know, he's really angling for that job. And at the same time, he's not talking anything about football or anything negative, except when the new 17-game schedule comes out. And we know that Aaron Rodgers and other veterans that are part of the Players Union, they did not want this. They did not want one more regular season game on their bodies before they go to the postseason. But the owners passed it anyway. We asked Mark Murphy about, hey, you know, you guys have been doing all this restructuring to make salary cap room for perhaps Aaron Jones. Why didn't you start with the quarterback first? And this was Mark Murphy's response.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to get into any individual player or any issues along those lines. Yeah, we've been able to create room with others. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics. Good try, though, Rob.
Yeah, good try, Rob, because Domofsky asked it. That starts setting up some flags.
Right. Well,
Mark Murphy had to know that question was coming.
Right. That was a fumble. To use it in the football vernacular, because to say that we don't talk about players, I mean, when only a month before you're saying, what are we, idiots? As we heard before, or a month or two, you're saying, what are we, idiots? Of course he's going to be our quarterback. And then to say, well, we don't talk about players. Do you think the Packers were blindsided by this?
I think it was a slow, I think after the Jeopardy taping, this is when these issues started being raised by the agent.
Yeah.
And I got it just as I'm trying to figure out the timeline, and I don't know it because we're not going to know it probably until when Mark Murphy writes his book 5 years from now, or Aaron Rodgers is working for another team. Because I think if there's any chance he's coming back to Green Bay, they're going to try and just gloss over it, and it'll be a nagging issue for a long time. But I just think this. Your guy wins the MVP. It's official. He does this Jeopardy thing in February. And at some point, if free agency is coming up, David Dunn calls the Packers and says, so, you know, our guy got MVP. What can you do? And if the Packers at that point said, hey, congratulations, we're good. I mean, if that's the point where they got crickets, that's what starts this thing churning. And then you start thinking about all the other issues along the way that have been building up over the last 2 or 3 years, on top of trading up to get Jordan Love. And hearing Mark Murphy there, and then we get to the morning of the draft, and some guy named Bill Michaels puts out, hey, I'm hearing a story out of Minnesota for Paul Allen that the 49ers called this team last night to ask if Aaron Rodgers could be traded. That thing blows up.
Yeah.
You're called fake news.
Yeah.
And clickbait and all that. And 3 hours later, Adam Schefter says, okay, this is what my agent sources have been saying for weeks. This stuff went on. It's real. And that the team has been flying out there. And 2 days later, the president of the team, Mark Murphy, in writing on the team website says, these reports are true. We have been out on several occasions, not 3, several occasions for several months to rectify this situation with Aaron Rodgers. We're trying to work this out. That was the first weekend in May. and nothing's changed a month after that. It's all real. We don't know exactly what he wants. I do know that one of the reasons he probably wanted to keep this quiet is because this hurts his brand. This hurts. This guy is trying to be the next Peyton Manning and get, Visa card and Jeopardy and these kinds of things. And to be this guy who's not happy being one of the highest paid athletes in sports and, doesn't want to come to work, that's not good for his brand. But at the end of the day, I've known this kid since the first day he set foot in Green Bay as a draft pick, 21 years old. I don't get what he's going to accomplish by this. If he's coming to Green Bay,
that's my point.
He's not going to get Mark Murphy to retire. He's not going to get Brian Gutekunst fired.
Right.
It's too late to make any kind of a significant addition free agent wise. I don't know if Julio Jones was the right fit with the games he's missed and injuries that the Titans just traded for yesterday. So at the end of the day, if he thinks he's still coming back, the point that you say that I've got problems with the culture of this team and the corporation, what does he think he's going to change?
Let's follow up on that when we come back. Let's do this. We're going to step away and take a quick break. We're broadcasting live at KUNES RV down in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Tremendous place. The home of the brand new big unit cruiser. They are the supplier. They are fantastic people to work with. If you're looking for one, I can't recommend dealing with these guys and girls enough, whether it's a pop-up, a tow behind, fifth wheel, whatever it happens to be. Go to KUNES, KUNESRV.com. 10 locations, 9 of them in Wisconsin, 1 of them in Northern Illinois. Stop in and tell them we said hi, because I'm telling you what, if you're looking for an RV or if you're looking to sell one with consignment, they can do that as well. Stay tuned. We're in studio live here in the brand new big unit cruiser with our good buddy Mike Clements, our NFL and Packers insider. Stay tuned. We got more right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
I talked over that first one. That's why he didn't play it, because I talked over it. He knows, right? He knows.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
and we'll see how it unfolds.
Dynamite drop-ins. It's been going on for a while. Welcome back to the program. The Bill Michaels Show continues on. Our friend Justin, our friend Eric, our friend Thomas, Mike, Elmer, all of them say, welcome back to the program, Mike Clemens. So people receiving it well. Sitting inside the KUNES RV, which is the new big unit cruiser here at KUNES RV in Elkhorn, but they're all over the state of Wisconsin. Glad to have you on board today. So, and we're sitting here talking with Mike Clemens, our NFL and Packers insider, if you will. So you talked about what is he trying to accomplish. I've said this before with wide receivers not attending, OTAs, Aaron Rodgers not here. I always ask, what is the end game? What is the purpose of this? Because you have to want an outcome. You have to want something. The Packers have said they're not firing Gutekunst. They certainly seem hell-bent on not trading him. At least that's the outward look as of right now. What is the outcome?
After this show, I'm going to Green Bay for the rest of the week.
Right.
We're here in Elkhorn right now in the new big unit cruiser. Practice is at 11 o'clock, closed behind the tarp at the Hinkle Field. And then we're going to actually get a chance to talk to LaFleur every day. And then we'll talk to players. And I would imagine Devontae will be first up, assuming he's going to report. We do know that Devin Funchess tweeted over the weekend he's coming. Mm-hmm. The free agent they got a year ago, wide receiver from the Panthers, who opted out due to COVID concerns.
Right.
Listen, we know that Rodgers loves Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator, and Luke Getsy, his quarterback coach, and
right.
Devontae and his teammates. You know, you'd think he'd want to be coming back from Mercedes Lewis. You know, you're kind of leaving him hanging. They did sign Aaron Jones to get you that weapon. And so the next guy you got to ask is the guy caught in the middle of all this is Matt LaFleur. And people say, well, why don't you guys ask him? Fans, I'm telling you, we've asked Matt LaFleur this directly. What is it that Aaron Rodgers wants?
I'd like to keep every conversation that Aaron and I have had up to this point between us. And, you know, I know the reports out there. I mean, this guy is our quarterback, man, and he's our leader of our team. And I want nothing more than to see him back in a Packer uniform. And, you know, we've been able to accomplish a lot of great feats over the last 2 years, 2 straight NFC championship games. I know the seasons haven't ended the way we've wanted them to, but in my eyes, he's the greatest to ever do it. We want him back here.
That's all well and good, Matt, but what if he doesn't want to be back here?
Yeah, I know. And I can't even take my brain to that spot right now. So I just want to do everything in my power to ensure that doesn't happen.
Mike Clemens.
When did this situation with Aaron begin? Was it before you started your meetings, the 19th of this month, or was it after the final game of the season when you had your exit interviews? When did he voice this?
Yeah, Mike, I appreciate, the question. I just, like I said, I'm not going to get into details of any of that. All I'll say again, we want him back here, and he knows how we feel about him.
That sounds like a guy that's depressed. Like he can't believe it's gotten to this.
He's stuck in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that them kicking the field goal on 4th down has led Matt LaFleur to this particular segment of his life.
No.
This is something that's much bigger than Matt LaFleur. But again, I still think to myself, what is the end game? I mean, I don't understand, other than just saying I'm done with you. I don't want to be around you anymore. Does he feel lied to? You know what I mean? We're never going to know for sure.
Here's what I do know. Aaron Rodgers is in that NFC Championship game, 13-3 again. Now he's got the opponent at home at Lambeau Field. And out comes Tom Brady, and he's watching Brady throw to 32-year-old Gronkowski, who's come out of retirement, a 29-yard pass down the sideline that sets up the go-ahead field goal. And he's looking at, and he's watching Kevin King getting burned twice in that game.
Right.
And he's like, what is this? Why can't Green Bay look at Tom? Look at Tom leave Belichick, go to Tampa Bay, where they bring in Ndamukong Suh. They've got this huge guy, number 50, Vita Vita, that nobody could stop. The Packers' offensive line couldn't stop him. The Chiefs' offensive line couldn't stop him. What did those two teams both have? Troubles, injuries at tackles, right? That Mahomes couldn't beat that team.
Right.
And so this is what Aaron was, pounding on the table in terms of here's where we have our needs, to bring in veterans like JJP, a knucklehead who blew off his hand with fireworks.
Right.
But he's still a crazy football player who knows how to play the game, who's already been in his Super Bowl. He goes, you guys are always so worried about getting guys that from America's Dairyland and they're smart players and good character guys. But sometimes you got to get some guys out of prison. Win.
No, I agree with that. The only problem I have when Aaron wants these guys is Aaron takes 20% of the team's salary.
Yes. From a salary standpoint, yes.
I mean, from the salary standpoint, you can say, but Brady doesn't take but more than 7%.
Right.
And that's the drastic difference. Brady doesn't give a damn. It's like, let's just go win. Where if Rodgers wants to be the highest paid, you're not going to get that.
In 2018, the Vikings signed Kirk Cousins for $85 million, making him the highest paid.
Right.
And then Matthew Stafford gets his deal. And suddenly, Rodgers is like 2-3 years into his deal. He's already obsolete as the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's training camp 2018. And after we're done with the media thing, microphones are down and we're just saying, do you think this is going to happen now? Do you feel that you've got to, he goes, it's not about the money. I just want to be a partner,
Yep. I
just want to be a partner. And I didn't get it because then at that point, you got PR people saying, come on, Mike, we got to go. Time to go. And he says, I kind of want to have a say. And what he's basically saying there is, I've been here 14 years. I want to be a Packer for life. And I want to be onto other things here. Like, you're talking about title, Tom. Maybe he wants to be a part of that. Maybe he wants to be told, hey, we want to use you for marketing forever in this area. Or, yeah, you know what? Maybe we are going to give you some tape and say, what do you think of these receivers?
Right.
Just like one of the other coaches. Because you know what? He wants what Tom wants. He wants what Brady had with Belichick and with the ear of the owner, Robert Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the way this place operates. They still don't. Because when you were Ted Thompson, I asked Gutekunst this when do you remember when Ted passed and they had that little press conference and we got to talk to Murphy and to Gutekunst about Ted's passing. I said, so what was Ted like on draft night? And Mark Murphy goes, yeah, I'd never want to play poker with that guy. And Gutekunst told us the story that he said, after a few years, I figured out that Ted would take one guy and bury him in the third or fourth round. He kept on asking about that player, but he would move it down on the board. And we thought that was a second round guy or whatever. He said, I finally figured it out with Jordy Nelson. He said he kept on asking about Jordy Nelson, but he put him down the fourth or fifth round. And then he ends up being his first pick that night. So Ted didn't even trust his closest aides with picks. And Brian Gutekunst is no different. He trusts no one. So if Aaron Rodgers thinks he's going to change that guy to say, hey, man, we're thinking about a quarterback. What do you are you okay? That's just not going to happen. And then when you see guys like Jordy Nelson leave, when Aaron thought he could come back another year, when Randall Cobb leaves, when Brian Bulaga leaves, and all these guys or Josh Sitton. You and I saw him talking to Sitton for a long time after Sitton was the Bears. And we said, man, wonder what that conversation is about. This is like 2 hours before the game.
Luck have been a fly on the wall for that one, yeah.
You ask these guys, they say, he said, how'd you find out? And they tell them. All you got to do is go to Clay Matthews. 10 years, Super Bowls, leadership, going to be in the Packer Hall of Fame, maybe go to Canton someday. What was it like when Goody called you and said, hey, Clay, you're no longer a Green Bay Packer. Here's Clay Matthews.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously was difficult. I think everybody envisions playing, their entire career out with one team, especially having played a decade out there. But I was actually headed over there to get a workout in because it was a few days before free agency. They called and let me know that it just wasn't in the cards moving forward, wished me the best of luck moving forward. And we wrapped up a 10-year career in about 30-second phone call.
He's driving to the facility to lift weights. This is Clay Matthews. It's a 30-second phone call.
That's what pisses him off.
So Aaron Rodgers was on with Kenny Mayne about 2 weeks ago on a Monday night, and Kenny said, what do you say to the fans that are always backing the team and not the player in a situation like this?
I think sometimes people forget what really makes an organization, and history is important. Legacy of so many people who've come before you, but the people—that's the most important thing. The people make an organization. People make a business, and sometimes that gets forgotten. Culture is built brick by brick. The foundation of it by the people, not by the organization, not by the building, not by the corporation. It's built by the people, and got to work for some amazing people as well. And it's those people that build the foundation of those entities. I think sometimes we forget that,
Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Mike Clemens joining us here, our Packer and NFL insider inside the brand new big unit cruiser. We are live at KUNES, KUNES, KUNES RV down in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
It's finally summer, Gina Della from Pella. You know what that means.
For sure, Mark Chimura. Can you believe it? In just a few months, chilly winds will be sneaking through leaky windows and doors.
But Gina, it's summer. Time for cookouts, golfing, and heading to the beach.
Exactly my point, Chewy. Sure, you and your friends are getting outside, enjoying warm sunshine and fresh air. But if you want to host game day Packers parties in comfort this fall, you've got to call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin now.
Gina, I already have energy efficient Pella windows, but you seem to be on a roll, so.
Depending on the style and materials you choose, you could upgrade your home with Pella windows in as little as 8 weeks.
Bring it home, Gina.
And right now, you can choose 40% off installation or 6-year no-interest financing.
That's into 2027.
You're not kidding. Just order by June 30th. Set your free consultation now at PellaWI.com/radio or 855-PELLA-WI.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
There's a little bit of a death knell in the relationship.
I do have a lot of trust in our top three. You know, I've said what I said about Jake, you know, and then he got released. So I'm not going to, you know, go in depth about our guys.
Welcome back to the program. A bit of a breakdown there. When you hear the discussion between Aaron Rodgers, the reason Brian Gutekunst cut Jay Kummerow, keeping Malik Taylor, Mike Clemens reports there. Joining us here in the KUNESRV.com Big Unit Cruiser is Mike Clemens here today, and that's just, it's not the linchpin, Mike, but it's an example of the angst that Aaron Rodgers. You could clearly hear. I'm not going to talk about any other players. They cut Jay Kummerow.
Well, it's one thing on the list.
Right.
Now, you remember I was doing live reports on the show from training camp last summer, and about week 2, week 3, I said, boy, Bill, I'll tell you what, when we're talking about wide receivers and breaking down Devontae, MVS's progress, Alan Lazard, et cetera, I said, there's this number 86 kid, undrafted, Ferris State, Malik Taylor. Not only they got him running routes, I saw him returning punts. Okay, special teams, that helps.
Right.
Now they got him returning some kicks in practice. Now they got him running jet sweeps. Hello.
Right.
They're looking at this kid. And we didn't have any preseason games, but I kept on telling you right up to Labor Day and final cuts, I said, they're going to have to find a way to get Malik Taylor onto that roster because I think he's earned it. The cuts come out, and sure enough, Malik Taylor makes the team, and Jake Kummerow is cut. For Rodgers, it's that Labor Day weekend. He does an NFL Network interview Hey, tell us about your receivers. Do you have enough weapons? Sure, I do. I got 4 guys, including Devontae, MVS, Lazard, and Kumaro. Here's a veteran guy. He's been with us 3 years. He knows the system. And Rodgers is basically saying, I'm good. And they cut him the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Rodgers is like, you made me look stupid. You
Right.
made me look stupid. Why can't anybody? When he said it, I thought, really, Aaron? Aren't you? I'm watching the same practice, man. They're running this Malik Taylor kid all over the place. Maybe he thought he was going to get practice squad.
Right.
Whatever the case, this is the stuff that infuriates Rodgers. Like, could you please not make me look dumb here? Could you give me an idea that maybe a guy's on a bubble? These are the little things that he's talking about. So at the end of the day, you wonder, where's Aaron Rodgers' head at in terms of his legacy, the legacy of the Green Bay Packers? Does he really want to be a lifetime Packer? And I talked about this to him. That last conference we had just before the NFC Championship was a very relaxed conversation. And we talked about his knowledge, his incredible memory for things, including Green Bay Packer legacy.
Max McGee and Paul Hornung and Fuzzy, and Willie Davis, Ray Nitschke. That's what I dreamt about, being a part of an organization that had that kind of excellence. Vince Lombardi, all the quotes that he has that, still resonate to this day. The trophy is named after him for a reason. Our city is nicknamed Titletown for a reason. It's a special place to play.
You remember everything. You remember, Spock lines from Star Trek for The Voyage Home. And do you do things like
Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan? That's a good one.
You probably know the whole dialogue. I know you've done that probably since as a kid. It's fun. It's competitive, trivia and all that. But how much of that do you do to be a better football player when it comes to memorizing game plans, seeing things on tape? I mean, do you work on your mind like that as much as you work on the rest of your body?
Yeah, it's a great question, Mike. And the answer is yes, I do. I think that's a really important part of it. I think the recall is most important. And I train myself, starting as a younger player, to put images in my mind when I break the huddle so that I can have that positive picture as I walk up the line of scrimmage. It's a matter of seconds or split seconds, but having that positive thought that comes to your mind, whether it's something you saw on film or whether it's a play from practice or a play from a previous game that kind of hits you as you walk the line of scrimmage, has always been a positive part of my kind of pre-snap routine. It's a very quick thing that happens, but I think it's something that's very important. The recall, like I said, it is really, really important, not just for myself, but for the receivers and the pass catchers. Devontae has talked about at times remembering things from previous games all the way back to 2014 that we had talked about or signaled or gone over that has helped him in the moments, or helped him when I give him, an old signal. I look around and there's not many guys who know kind of the old kind of language of signals. So him and I sometimes have our own stuff that kind of only him and I know, because the signals that were used in the old offense, and the ability to recall those things in the moment is what makes our connection so special, and what makes that part of the game a lot of fun.
Also makes it hard, though, for guys like Alan Lazard to say,
right,
what are those guys? We're on the line of scrimmage, man.
Right.
What are those two guys doing now?
Yeah.
This wasn't in. Am I misreading? He makes it pretty complicated. He doesn't forget a thing, including a snub.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's no doubt about that. One of the guys that came back to Green Bay is Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones expecting to be able to play.
And with all those wide receivers gone last week in OTAs, he's going out for a lot of passes.
Yeah.
And so this guy is coming with his heart in his hand, because Aaron Jones, the running back, and his brother, Elvin, who's a linebacker, got a look they got a game of workout during the rookie orientation. His father died. You're Aaron Jones. Your dad is moving you all around the country, 30 years in military, sergeant major in the Army. And his mom, remember, Virgis, you've met her a couple times.
Yep.
You've had Aaron Jones at, the Kohler Lodge.
And his parents.
Yeah.
When he was a rookie, they came to us out in, what was it, San Francisco or
at
Arizona?
the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Super Bowl.
And Virgis, and you get the feeling what that whole family is like. Their dad moved them all around. And the deal was, okay, here we are in a new town. Got to move in a motel. But you know something? He says, I'll get you guys equipment so you can play Pop Warner football. So Aaron Jones gets that new contract, 4 years, $48 million. 3 weeks later, he's delivering the eulogy at his father's funeral, 57 years old, dead of COVID, down in El Paso. And so we asked Aaron Jones, is there a way you're going to pay tribute to your father this season?
I mean, I haven't really thought about that. When I get in the end zone, you'll definitely see a tribute to him or something. He was at every game before the games. I would go to a certain spot. He would be sitting there. So I'm still going to go. I'm still going to go have my moment with him. I know he's still going to be there. He has the best seat in the house. So I know he's up there watching me, and it's going to be special.
Let's do this.
When we've done radio shows and Virgis is there, you get a quick feel for how good this family is that you're in. And man, it's a heck of a eulogy when you're talking about being this military family transferring around, and yet he's out there getting you and your brother equipment so you can still do your sports. All those military people that came to give that salute. And I'm thinking about that for Memorial Day and all the work that you've already done for the youth. Do you think that's part of your path moving forward from this thing?
Definitely think it's part of my path. It's kind of what my parents have showed us, when you're blessed, you give back and you bless others. And I just want to be a light in my community, a resource for children. My dad didn't come from a lot, and to make it to where he is, super proud of him. But and he set us up to succeed on from that and continue to carry on his legacy. So that's what we're gonna do. And I look to be in the community a lot and give back, and that's what makes me happy, and that's what makes our family happy. And so that's what I got to do to get my mind off of things and stay happy.
So there you go. That's Aaron Jones. Let's do this final segment of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Live shot when I can. Sensitive to the show.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes.
Okay, so if you can ask me to bump back to cut 12, it's dry or whatever it is. Bump back to 12. You're all pretty short now. Normal 20 seconds.
Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
They walk by the camera, they don't even know they're on. It's funny.
We are, but the Lightning guy, Aaron, he can also grind out some yards, and the Thunder guy, myself, I'd like to say, I can still beat some guys, run away from them. So I feel like we bring we both definitely have our strengths, but we bring two backs, and the entire running back room is capable of guys that can do it all, and that's just the standard in the running back room. That's what Coach Sermons has preached, being able to do it all, be able to find a role on the team, and so. I feel like we definitely embody that.
Welcome back to the program. Those are the words of AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers joining us here inside the KUNESRV.com Big Unit Cruiser. NFL reporter, Packer reporter Mike Clemens is here. So AJ Dillon, they get rid of Jamal Williams. They let him go. He goes over to Detroit. And A.J. Dillon is now the guy that is the Thunder and the Thunder and Lightning combination.
And there's this excitement because of that performance he had in that game in the snow at Lambeau against the Titans for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it looked like he could carry the offense. But you know what? You already get this feeling of there's a new generation in Green Bay because it's A.J. Dillon. It's Chris Barnes, the middle linebacker, who has known Jordan Love since they played together in high school. Mm-hmm. They were roommates along the way at last year in camp. And so A.J. Dillon was asked, how does Jordan Love look? What's the progress of quarterback Jordan Love so far?
That's my guy. Same agency. We trained in the, pre-draft, and then luckily enough to come to the same team, and then last year and everything. I mean, I think he's just, kind of like that repeating thing. Everybody always says we're just getting better every day. And I feel like he's really embodied that. He's gotten reps this year that he didn't really have last year, especially with the ones. And, you can see him getting more comfortable. And, it's really good to see. He's my good friend. And so to see him going out there and, from the first OTA practice where he's kind of a little nervous to now, like, scrambling, making really, really good passes and stuff like that. It's really cool to see just him, having fun and, doing what he was brought here to do,
So A.J. Dillon, the running back out of Boston College, number 28, with those enormous thighs, which I guess he's nicknamed Quadzilla and the Quad Father. He's on social media a lot. I think he's going to market his thighs. He was asked, what's the deal with this this poll you've got on Quad Father and Quadzilla for your thighs?
I put out a thing on Twitter, and I did a little poll, and it was like 51-49 for Quadzilla and Quad Father. Somebody brought up the idea of one leg being Quadzilla, the other one being Quad Father. So I'm going to roll with that. Either name is applicable, and I'm fine with that. I'll definitely respond to it.
He's named his thighs. Quadzilla, Quad Father.
Well, it's you're out of here. You're on your way to Green Bay, right? And for the next 3-4 days, and to see what happens.
And I'll have a live shot for you tomorrow during practice. They tee off at 11 o'clock for the mandatory mini camp.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's there, who's not, what some of the drills are, and then get a look at some of these new young draft picks they've got.
Maybe
as well.
More importantly, who's not.
Who's not.
Who's not. And what would the percentage be for you to say Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there?
89% he's not going to be there.
So you're leaving 11?
Yeah.
Just chose a random 11%?
That's right.
I said for this, I still stick with 70% of me says he's not going to be the center or under center for the Green Bay Packers this year.
That he's done.
Yeah. 70%. But which it gives me more hope than what some others have stated that cover the team, right? Because it just seems so goofy and so dire. It really does. Well, we can get into this even more tomorrow, but it just seems like there's got to be a way for Aaron Rodgers to save face, to then be able to come back and say we're good now. But I don't know what that outcome is. That's what we don't know.
I'll keep you posted. Great to be on the network.
Great to be back again, Mike. It's like our own version of Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
There you go. You're the Thunder. You eat more beans than I do, and I'll be the Lightning.
Thank you, everybody.
There you go. That's it. Fuck everybody. All right, time for us to get out of here. It's been great down here at KUNES RV in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Go to KUNES, KUNES, KUNESRV.com, and find out all that they have to offer the new home of the big